Good afternoon, rugby fans. It is time for some Friday semifinal footy here at the Charlotte Rugby Grounds in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am Joe Rasmus bringing you all the action, and I am joined today by a 23 cap Eagles scrum half, but debutante broadcaster, Carly Waters. Carly, are you excited for this first game of the match?
I'm very excited. I think today is honestly the perfect rugby day. We have cloud coverage and a slight breeze, so it should be a good day.
Starting off, we've got Northeastern and Air Force getting ready in our first semifinal. The winner of today's two games will meet tomorrow at the Matthews Sportsplex for the D1 Women's Championship. Looking at your screen, Northeastern is kicking off left to right, and Air Force are ready to receive. Your match official for the day is Curtis Efferidge, who is checking in with the captains. Victoria scans the field for space and waits for referee Efferidge to blow the whistle. And the semifinal is underway with a short kickoff to the right side. Air Force will look to build phases in their own half. First carry through Sarney. The tight head prop, tipping onto her lock. Short runners lining up, but now the 10 wants it. Will the ball come?
Air Force has done really well to find their structure right off the bat here. Very organized.
And that puts their inside center line Schumann into space. A little bit of go for it and ascendancy for the women from Colorado. And another big carry by Sarney. She's getting asked to do a lot of work here to put Air Force on the front foot early. And now, Malaccio calling for the ball again. She chooses the short option this time. Picks out Malali to go through the middle. Sustained phases. The inside center takes a run. She has her partner. There's space on the outside for the fullback. And they're into touch, but a good 20 meters gained there in the first possession and opening salvos of the game.
Those are some great phases there. Air Force seems very confident in terms of their backs and forward systems, and they have a great connection out the back to support themselves.
It will be a line out exactly on halfway for Northeastern. Looks like 4-person with an insert. 5-person, excuse me. A clean win, and the first attacking option for the Dogs. They want to go wide, out the back to their fullback. She's got a bit of space around the corner. Can she go? Can she step the last one? Yes, she can. And it is Bashat Dunner into the corner for the try to give Northeastern an early 5-0 advantage.
It was very deceiving to watch their setup. They set up about the 15 right there, was not even past halfway of the field, but they back her speed and they trust her skill set, and that's great to see.
A great little blocker play there to put the fullback, Bashat Dunner, away in the corner. It will be a tough ask for the Northeastern goal kicker from the edges of the field to extend the advantage to 7-0, but a great start, great momentum off the bat. Carly, you've played in 3 championship games. You've played a whole lot of knockout footy in your life. What does it mean to get on the scoreboard early in a game like this?
I think to get on the scoreboard first is a really big energizer for the team. Statistically, it's shown that the team that is up within the 20-minute mark is the team that hypothetically wins. It's a little different in men's game with the consistency of kicking. But it's great that 3 minutes in and we have a try on the board.
McAlevey.
Oh, great strike.
From the corner. Good contact, but a little bit to the right. A tough angle to take. Not too much wind to speak of here. Neither team going to have a huge advantage. The field is pretty well shielded by the trees. Unlike a lot of rugby pitches in America where you just get those flat winds and nothing to obstruct them. Here we're in a little bit of a valley as well, surrounded by some homes on the far side. Let's see if Air Force can answer now that they'll have territory as they kick off. Air Force goes right down the middle and pinballs it off of her opposite. But good job to recover it. A great counter ruck comes in from Air Force. Surely there goes the arm up for offsides against Drew Balfour. And now Air Force can attack with penalty advantage 10 meters outside the 22. Referee Etheridge. And it might be a new advantage as well, as the blindside flanker can't get out of the way of that play of the ball for the 9. Carly, I'm sure you'd be asking for that penalty if there's a player in your way trying to slow down your play of the ball.
Yeah, our 9 Chansky there did a great job painting the picture for the ref. She pinned the defender in and gave the advantage right to her team. Great break there as well.
A strong carry from the loose head prop, but here comes the counter ruck, and Northeastern steals that ball right back. Air Force scramble to re-find their connection in defense. A good job to get off the line, though they are numbers short here on the near side of the field. That ball's got to come a little bit slow. So Chrysler opts to put it on the boot. An unlucky bounce for Northeastern allows Air Force to just hold on to it as the cross-field kick almost works out. And now Air Force will build phases, but having lost about 20 meters from that kicking exchange. Air Force goes back to work. So methodical how they're trying to build, go forward, and set their 10 up with good, clean front foot ball.
Air Force forwards doing really well to give direct carries here and make gain line.
And you see the ball comes from Malaccio. She has her lock running right off of her hip. And Malaccio wants it again. There's space out to the right if they can get it out there. One to draw.
Great footwork.
Really great job by Northeastern's wing, Groton, to shut down that overload, to take away the space for the pass. And Malaccio, again, a little bit isolated. Support arrives in time. Air Force taking some time to just settle. A little bit frantic there on the far side of the field. But they go at it again, building phases through the pack. And now Malaccio has numbers out to her left.
Great break.
Takes the short option, and here goes through the middle of number 12. Line Schumann gets almost 10 meters from the goal line. And there's the arm for penalty advantage again. A second penalty for not rolling away. A quick tap for Mullally. Clearly the message from head coach Amy Russert is to push the pace in this game. I say that, they slow things down for a pick and drive.
I mean, makes sense. We have entered the red zone. This is where you want to be calm and remember your skill sets and let their forwards go to work and have hard carries. But here
Line
we are.
Schumann, close to the line, not quite there. The ball comes.
Huge edge.
And it's knocked on there. But you were saying about the composure in the red zone there.
Yeah, as we enter the red zone, we want to, as a team from experience, we want to settle down. We're in control. We hold the power here, and we want to back what we know we can do, whether that's the forwards picking and going. The only time as a 9 I'm giving my backs that ball is if they have a very clear picture for them to score.
We will see the first scrum of the game. Rugby fans are going to love this action. Two big packs getting ready to come together 5 meters out from the Northeastern try line. Northeastern in possession. And a big shove from the Air Force pack. But referee Etheridge adjudicates that Air Force wheeled that scrum intentionally. Northeastern looked to clear their lines and relieve a little bit of pressure, but this lineout is still going to be within their 22.
It was a really great first scrum. Air Force wanting to show their dominance. I agree with the decision to have a wheel there to create the picture for their 9 to hold the weak side. Hopefully they'll get the next one right.
The last time Northeastern had a lineout, they scored first phase. We'll see what they can do from inside their own 22. And there's two runners going out the back, but instead they choose the short line to number 13, Victoria Isa. A lot of pressure coming at that from the defensive breakdown of Air Force. They're not able to turn it over there. Now they'll spread.
It's great to see have Northeastern here have both sides of the field set up.
The ball's controlled off of the foot of the Air Force fullback, Malaccio. She makes a little half gap. Air Force is set up with numbers to the left if the ball will come. They'll take a quick forward hit through their hooker, Liz Diertz. Malaccio wants the ball left again. The space is there. Can it get through the hands? Line Schumann, strong carry. Doesn't have the time and space to shift the ball wide, but hands still available out to the left. This time her center partner, Opava, will tip it on to her flanker. Strong contest there for Northeastern.
Really great tackle by that 8. It was a tackle jackal, got her low, and the 6 had the opportunity for the poach.
Malaccio shifts it on to Diertz. Methodical and patient is the Air Force Academy. Schumann tries to shift it wide, and there is the intentional knock-on. Perhaps a little bit lucky that it's not cynical. There was an overload on the right side. A quick tap. Irvine around the corner. A great last-ditch tackle from Bichat Dunner. Air Force, the patience and the composure showing off. Doyle takes a carry. Irvine gets her forwards out of the way. Tries an option down the short side. No purchase there. A pick and drive. And it looks like a penalty going the way of Northeastern. Did you see the secondary signal or the penalty there?
That was a little confusing for me. He showed signals favoring Air Force. Okay, not rolling away is the call, playing on the ground. So see what Northeastern can do with this line out. Their hooker, Emma McNeil, has been very consistent in her throws. They're straight down the center, and their timing within the jumping has been wonderful.
And we're starting to see what that attacking shape is for Northeastern. They've got those 2 hard runners through the middle and the 2 out the back to create width. Air Force very narrow in defense here. What pictures is the 10 looking at to make this decision on what option to take?
I think at the end of the day, you look at your team's skill set to start. So let's play to our strong suit, our hard runners. Let's back them in this. And then once we're 20 minutes in, that's when we'll start playing to the opposition.
And despite cleanly, or not cleanly, but winning the ball, Air Force counter-ruck, and then the ball squirts out of the breakdown. The ball gets put on the toe. And if it's fielded cleanly here by Jihad, there might be space to the left. We'll see if Air Force sees the giant opening on the short side here. Irvine does see it, but she picks and go. The space is still open to the left side. Northeastern finally recovers. That ball is out the back of the breakdown. Finally, Air Force gathers some composure. They will use, excuse me, I've been referring to the Air Force scrum half as Irvine. That was Irvine, the number 8. Apologies for that. Making the carry and slowing things down and settling down her team. Shipchansky, 9, looks at the short side but thinks better of it, seeing her wing isolated. And a great job to potentially get on the ball, but not enough for referee Etheridge. Schumann gets the offload away. Now it goes out to the wing. Humphreys brought down by her opposite. Shipchansky tries around the short side, then offloads to her 10. Knock on there. A little bit more frantic in that last passage of play. What do you think's creating that pressure, Carly?
I think the fact that Air Force has entered the red zone twice now and not come away with the points, it's in their mind. They know what they want and they have the goal, and they just need to settle into it and back each other in that.
Northeastern, you have to say, has done a good job scrambling and keeping their line, keeping their connection in the tough areas of the field as well under pressure.
Northeastern doesn't necessarily have a launch off the line, but you can tell their connections are strong, and it's making it hard for Air Force to put a chink in the armor.
Cleaner ball this time for Northeastern. The ball goes out the back. And it's Bichot Dunner who's going to try to run around the corner. It's a foot race, one to beat here.
Great
and
angle.
A really great job to get in the way. And maybe doesn't make the tackle, but does force the knock on. Way to put the body on the line for Noel Malaccio.
That was a really great angle by Noel Malaccio to connect with her number 14, Layla. They were able to shut it down and have a good point of contact.
And now we see Air Force get their first scrum with possession in the game. We saw Air Force really, really aggressive on the first defensive scrum. We'll see how they'll play it here. I believe this is the first attacking set piece for the Zoomies.
Crouch. Fine. Sit.
And not much good going there for Air Force as the knock-on comes. That turnover coming from skill pressure has the Northeastern bench right below us very excited. But will Air Force choose to attack on this defensive scrum as they did first scrum of the game?
I love seeing the tactics at the scrum. I was watching the Northeastern 9 have a little chat with the ref. She has some pictures she has in mind, and let's see if he's seeing them.
This time definitely straight and square. A whole lot of pressure coming from the women from Colorado. And it forces the handling error at the back. Big scrum. I think the forwards for Air Force would have preferred the reward of a penalty. I see hooker Liz Deard saying, shaking her head. We got the win. Now we got to do it again.
We'll see if they're able to do it again. Typically on the second draw is when the ref will give the official penalty. They had great power driving square through that. I'm excited to see it again.
Big drive, dog. Fine. Sit.
A lot less aggressive, but Irvine's able to pick it up cleanly. Doesn't find much purchase.
Great hands there.
Malaccio elects to carry and then offloads a little bit late. There was space on the right side, but again, Air Force has the opportunity to build their phases, and this was when they've been their best, when they're just patient and deliberate with the ball. Irvine carries again, getting a lot of work in this game. She has been a great asset to put them on the front foot. It's dropped, but it's dropped backwards. Referee Etheridge allows them to play on. A big, strong contest comes, but there's space to the left, and there's numbers for Air Force. Streaking down the field is Schumann. She can't find an offload option. Now she does to her center partner. And here comes Doyle over the gain line. Great groundwork to put the ball outside the outstretched arms of Kira Grimes. Malaccio takes it herself at the line. Does well not to get stripped in contact. Around the corner goes Air Force, and a high tackle perhaps. Nope, just a knock-on only, says the referee. He's right on top of it. There was some space there on the edge for Humphreys. She stepped back inside, and unfortunately there was an outstretched arm waiting for her.
That was a great set of continuity there for Air Force. They were able to keep the ball alive for 2 phases and then pin their passes and pin their defender and get it to the edge and allow their wings to do their jobs.
The ball has been moving side to side really, really well for Air Force. What's enabled them to use such width in their attack?
Again, I think it's just their consistency and security within their individual back and forwards units. The forwards do a great job getting them go forward to allow suck-in defenders and give the backs the space they want to play in.
The ball went out the back to Bichot Dunner again, but read well by Air Force. She's brought to ground, and she won't gain much territory. A strong contest, perhaps a little bit of questionable actions from the number 6 for Air Force, and now a strong counter up comes in. That one's a bit of a mess. Must be number 3, Sarni, off her feet at the breakdown, I would guess.
Yeah, it looks like that's the call. Air Force are really eager to get in the breakdown. They just need to support their body weight a little bit more.
Northeastern go quick, and they have numbers, but the last pass just a little bit too hot to handle. Unsympathetic passes lead to a knock-on. It's really interesting to see the difference in scrummaging tactics from Air Force with and without the ball. A lot more conservative here. Do you think that's something that's going to continue throughout the game? Do you think they'll ever look for that penalty when they've got an attacking scrum, or is it just all about ball security, giving Irvine and Shipchansky a good platform at the back?
I would hope they would look for the penalty. I think it's a great opportunity for them, and especially depending where they are on the field, they could really use that to their advantage. Irvine
is getting eaten up off the back of that scrum there. There's not much space for her. Shipchansky around the corner.
Really great.
She has an option to her right, but overran a little bit by Humphreys. Now it's Sarni getting over the gain line. Expecting another hit up here for the forwards. It's Deards. Deards thinks about going out the back, but she doesn't have the space and wisely decides to carry and grabs an extra 2 or 3 meters. Now the options are away to the left. Really great job, though, to rotate around the breakdown by the Dogs. And quick over the ball is Northeastern's number 13. She taps quickly and she's off. The jackal and the tap done by Victoria Issa. And another penalty, one for infringement off feet. And Northeastern keeps the tempo high, sensing blood, wanting to come away with points here. It's Ella Hughes who takes the ball inside the 22. Options away to the right for Groton.
Northeastern have done a really wonderful job playing the picture in front of them. From the transition, they immediately took their width, got in their pods, and were able to maintain continuity and go forward there.
Numbers to the left still if there's quick ball. There's a 3-on-2 out there. It's gonna go. Choosing not to use. Chamas on the edge. They keep it tight. Contact, perhaps a little bit high, but nothing spotted in terms of foul play by referee Effridge. To the right they come. Hughes just short. The pick and go for the number 9. It's Allie Johns in between the posts to give Northeastern a 10-0 advantage, perhaps against the run of play. A lot of possession for Air Force and then a counterpunch for Northeastern.
Any given Sunday, it's any team's game, but at the end of the day, it does come down to the team that can finish the strongest.
Yeah, and it's been all about, it comes down to scoring points, right? And Air Force has spent a whole lot of time in the 22 of Northeastern. What does that do to you mentally? How do you recover from that when you don't come away with points? Does that lead to mistakes and disconnection on the other end of the field?
I don't think it leads to disconnection, but it does lead to a bit of questioning in terms of not the goal of the day, but our execution. Maybe do we need to tighten up? Do we need to rely more on our forwards? What picture can we adjust to favor us based on the given circumstances? You know, I've certainly played games, recently played Wales, and we had 60% of the possession. But points scored, we did not win. So possession and the ability to finish the picture are key here.
Molly McAlevey does convert, and so our score here in Charlotte at the Charlotte Rugby Club is Northeastern 12, Air Force nothing. Do you think that there's some sense for Northeastern playing against an academy coming down from altitude, that you probably need to put up some points early because you expect a team like Air Force to finish strong?
Yeah, I would say so. Coming from Colorado myself, it was always favorable when we were traveling on the road because I know what feels like a mile in Colorado feels a lot better. It feels like a half a mile down here. So.
And a beautiful kickoff just inside the 22. Great nudge. And Northeastern will have to get out of deep in their own end. really great hang time, allowing the Air Force defense to come up connected and start applying pressure. You see that tactic being super aggressive at the breakdown. Very slow to get out of that ruck. I'm sure I know a scrum half or two who might have been yelling for a penalty there.
More than once.
Northeastern looking to go to the right. They really
Great
love
miss
that
pass.
out the back move. Paquette carries. She can't get the ball away to her fullback. But they are finding purchase when they go around the corner. Air Force scrambling. They need to fold to the right because Northeastern has numbers.
Northeastern really values playing from the edge there on the kick receipt. They immediately moved it wide, which I find interesting because typically I just want my hardest carrier taking it forward.
We were playing under penalty advantage, a couple of Air Force defenders in a row, rolling away quite slowly, and finally referee Etheridge will ping one of them. And we have time off. Perhaps to chat about how many Air Force tacklers were laying on the ball in that last passage of play.
It's an easy fix.
Yeah.
Easy fix.
And the captain, Drew Balfour, will have a quick chat with their team. And jumping the gun a little bit is Northeastern, just wanting to get the ball going again. It seems like both teams are really favoring this tactic of trying to play quickly, keeping the ball in play, thinking that they can benefit from speed and from extended periods of ball in play. Johns gets the ball away to her left. Chamas finds a little bit of space, but then is driven into touch by two Air Force tacklers, and it will be, I think, Air Force's first line out of the game.
I believe so. We can see here Air Force is doing really well in defense. They're trusting their edge and they're connecting on the center, so the minute that breakdown occurs, they can get right back off the line and go for it again. Defense is truly just attack without the ball. So when you have that mindset, it's very easy to want to get it back and do the repetitive phases and put in the work.
Not one cleanly, but it still comes down on the side of Air Force. Irvine asked again to get her team on the front foot, dragging a defender on the ground, and then offloads it.
Really great decision there by Skripansky to pick up that ball and just go forward.
Malaccio gets the ball wide. Schumann thinks about kicking it on the ground and then realized she might kick her center partner. And there is the knock-on call. Northeastern, now this is a time when momentum is mounting, pressure is mounting, 2 scores up. Air Force has struggled to score, and now there's an attacking scrum opportunity. What's going through the minds of the team in black and red here? What are they looking to do from this scrum?
They're looking to execute the same play they've executed the last 3 phases, honestly. They've done well. They have a few different options off of it as well. So they can create essentially 3 different pictures off this single move and put their 3 different back row players into space.
And they choose the out the back option to be shot Dunner. She's got her winger with her. But Chamas can't find any purchase around the edge. McAlevey carries a big counter ruck coming in from Air Force. They've done well at turning over possession by applying pressure at the breakdown. Now Hughes, the other lock with a carry. A good pickup by the 12.
Great to see Northeastern had a set little play there once they got into a smaller space with a smaller amount of numbers. We had 2 backs and a forward, and they knew exactly what their role was in that picture.
A not releasing penalty, and the pick for touch is taken quickly.
It's a great strike.
It doesn't find touch, but it finds space. The ball bounces on the ground, and Northeastern regathers it, but is under all kinds of pressure. Air Force needs to come up and connect, a little bit slow to chase that, and because of that, there's space on the edge. McAlevey gets over the gain line, and then the quick pick and go from Balfour.
I'd be curious to see if Northeastern were to look up and see the back 3 picture here. Consistently, Air Force is only giving them 1 player in the backfield. And Northeastern has been predominantly playing a possession game when the territory picture is on.
And
there we go.
They must be listening to you, but unfortunately, the execution of the kick from the open side flanker, Hannah Wilker, is not quite there. It goes into touch. We see what you're talking about. You saw the space there. If it was a little bit straighter, it looks like it came just off the side of her toe.
Great decision, great kick selection. Just got to get the execution down.
And we'll see the second line out of the game. First one was just a little bit too high for the jumper, but Air Force still managed to recover it. You'd think the Zoomies will definitely be wanting an opportunity to use their strike play. Similar outcome.
Fantastic throw. Just got to get the lift timing and cues right there.
And it's Irvine again. She sets up so much of their attack with her first phase carries. Now it's Balfour. But here comes the counter ruck. The tackler hadn't rolled away. I hear a coach underneath me, perhaps spotting the same thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could see a few different calls going here, so I'd be curious to which one was deemed the first.
In the end, Effridge goes with the knock on. And we will have another scrum. We'll see the 8 pick has been the choice move of the day, and with the fullback right behind the scrum and a wing to the right, a little 8-9-15.
There we go. Great active shift in the picture there by the 15, keeping alive and changing the picture at the drop of a dime for Northeastern.
Does not quite find the line break, and who else would come back from the sideline other than the big carrying number 8, Irvine. She's still on her feet looking for meters, then she goes to ground. Good quick ball, gets it into the hand of Deards.
We have a huge edge and overload. 3 back players in space on Northeastern here.
Mullally carries. Malaccio doesn't have options. Schumann gets back on sides, cleans things up.
Great launch there by Northeastern 12.
Not much doing from the offload game. Very, very competitive breakdown from Northeastern. Now it's Doyle. Well met in defense by McAlevey. Irvine. She's wrapped low and brought to ground. Now it's Schumann. A lot of one-off runners right now for Air Force. We're seeing less of the ball coming out to Malaccio as the half continues. A little bit high and the arm goes up. And we'll come back for the penalty. We've seen this team play fast. Do you think there's any sense to take points and get on the scoreboard and maybe calm nerves?
I think the weather's right for it. Typically as a 9, I look to my kickers and I ask what their range was for the day. But, you know, I think Air Force are due one. So carrying's a good option.
The clear message on the day is let's play fast. Let's keep this ball in play. A strong pick and drive from Mullally gets close.
We have a great picture on the left, so whether we hit our forwards again and hit up or we play this picture wide, the picture maintains.
Just a bit short for Johnson. Shipchansky digs. The ball goes wide. It bounces on the ground. It's backwards from the hands, and B-Shot Dunner out of the line. Fighting on feet is Jiha. She's 5 meters away. Now it's Mullally. She finds a little bit of space. She's over the line. And Air Force answer with their first try of the game. 12-5. It's a 1-possession game as the moments in the first half are starting to die down.
Really great wiggle there by Mullally. She was alone, but she had one intent in mind, and that was to get over the white line.
We've got about 6 minutes left in this half and everything to play for. And it'll be a tough conversion kick now for Noel Malaccio, the fullback. Eyeing it up from just outside the 15-meter line to the left of the posts.
Great strike.
It's on target and just under the bar. So we have about 6 minutes to go here in the first half of the first D1 semifinal for the CRAA women's playoff. Northeastern got on the board early and then followed it up after Air Force had a whole lot of possession with a nice counter punch try. But finally, Air Force have built the phases, found the composure, got over the line, and now it is 12-5. Everything to play for here in Charlotte. It's a short kickoff. Oh, and almost caught by the open side flanker, Hannah Wilker.
Really great decision there by Northeastern, and their ability to execute and nearly accomplish that based on the picture they're given is really wonderful.
Deards has a strong carry, and now it's Irbine's job. A host of Northeastern defenders get in there to bring her to the ground. Now it's Malele. There's numbers out to the left. Ball's a little bit slow, but now it comes. Schumann is going to try to break a tackle, then turns looking for support. She doesn't like a picture for an offload, and so finally she will go to ground.
Really great 10-meter carry there by them.
Deards carries, offloads. There was a little bit of bobbling in there, and apparently one of those bobbles went forwards. We'll see in these dying minutes of the first half, does the fitness of the women from Colorado, does this come into play? Does this let them get on the scoreboard one more time and tie things up right before halftime? You know that they've been enjoying this defensive scrum and getting aggressive. You'll have to see if they keep the pressure on here. Northeastern holds well. They're going to attack to the left. Ooh, they changed things up a little bit with the 12 coming around the back and then finding Bishat Dunner. Gets the offload away to her wing, streaking up the sideline. Just stays in bounds. The ball's a little bit slow. McAlevey takes it in. Air Force, strong contest at the breakdown. They're getting low. They're getting underneath the Northeastern ruckers, but the ball's coming away to the right. Grimes driving. She doesn't find a good offload. She takes it to deck. They continue out to the right. The number 8 takes the short option and then bounces wide into a winger. A little bit of a mismatch there for O'Connor. Margaret Barnes with a strong carry. The phase is building. Chrysler hits a forward out the back to the number 13. There's a gap.
4-on-1 there on the edge for Northeastern.
A really smart option to take the out the back line for the Northeastern hooker, who carries again. That's Emma McNeil. A little bit of strong carries, a little bit of strong ball playing for the number 2. And now the ball is in space. It's the inside center with 1 to beat. And she is just short of the line. A great line picked by Groton, and it is held up in goal. It'll be a goal line dropout. But what a clever line run there by Louise Groton to find the gap.
Significant defense there by Air Force. I think Sarah Skripchansky is having a wonderful day on attack and defense. That was her holding that up, and that's a valiant effort. It's not an easy thing to do. Not an easy picture to read.
A goal line dropout, one of the new features in the game. What are you looking to do tactically here generally, Carly, with the goal line drop?
Get it the heck out.
So this isn't a kick where they're looking to regather, right?
No, we want to get it as deep as we can and get up hard in their face and create more pressure on attack.
They do gain a little bit of territory, but they get possession. A big counter ruck comes in for Northeastern. Who will come away with possession? It's Air Force who hold on to it. Air Force, one more carry. I believe that's Deards. And the numbers are there to the right. But the penalty goes the way of Northeastern, and here's the tap. Quickly, that's got to be an advantage for not 10. Still on her feet is Victoria Isa.
Really great read by her. Come in off the line and get that jackal.
Grimes over the line and for the try. And that could be huge. Air Force having their tails up, Northeastern answering right on the stroke of halftime. It's got to be close on referee Effridge's watch. What does it do for a team scoring right before halftime?
Incredible morale, and it was incredible to watch that transition play. That all came from Isa's Jackal. 2 passes away, and we got the try.
And now Molly McAlevey will have the task of extending this lead potentially to 19-5. 17-5 is the score at the moment. We apologize for some of the fruity language from the bench that you might be hearing.
Oh, great strike.
A good strike, but just away to the left, so we stay at 17-5 here in the College Rugby Association of America D1 Women's Semifinal. There must be a little bit of time left on referee Effridge's watch. Not much to be sure, though. We'll see if either team can make one more wave in the dying moments of the first half.
Let's see if Air Force can get one last drive in here before the half. It's a big momentum shift, if so.
A
Great
strong kick right down the middle. It's dropped, but dropped backwards. And just as she catches it,
wonderful hands.
Perhaps Margaret Barnes a little bit lucky. I think Dana Balmus was surprised by the ball carrier being right in front of her. And there's a penalty and an opportunity for Air Force. They want to play fast. Chansky taps. She gives the ball to the try scorer, Mullally, who makes good meters up the middle. The ball is quick, and Deards just off of her hands. It's a knock on. And that will do it for the first half in Charlotte of the College Rugby Association of America's D1 Women's Semifinal, the first semifinal of the day. Northeastern leads 17-5. What are your impressions of that first half, Carly?
Very competitive. And it's really great to see both teams getting into it. They're both being able to scan, read the picture in front of them, and play to their skill sets.
We will take a short break here on the microphones as these teams hydrate and discuss tactics for the second half. We will be back in just a few. Stay tuned for the second half of the D1 Women's Semifinal. We are back at the Schilbeck Athletic Grounds of the Charlotte Rugby Club here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Had to think about where we were for a second. For the second half of the College Rugby Association of America Women's Division I first semifinal. We are just waiting on the match officials. The teams are ready to go, saying, "Ref, where you at?" As we wait for referee Curtis Etheridge, is there anything you think both teams should make as adjustments for the second half, Carly? What do you expect?
Yeah, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in both of those huddles. For me, I could use Air Force folding around the breakdown a bit sooner. And for Northeastern, if they're playing that ball away to the speed they have currently, they'll be making a heck of a lot more breaks around the edge there.
Northeastern captain Lily Johnson wanted to have a quick word. I'm sure maybe they see that picture of Air Force defenders not rolling away as they got tired at the end of the second half there, saying, hey, we want to play this ball a little bit faster, especially with that slow fold of the Air Force defense.
Yeah, I'd love to see the 9 and 10 for Northeastern really pushing the pace here and just being confident in the picture in front of them. Really great carry and footwork there.
And now it's on Northeastern to work out of their own end. They've been a little bit more willing to use the kick as an option here, but they're going to play for now. And out the back they go. They've liked those little blocker moves, but the last pass was just a bit forward.
Great decision, great setup, great execution in their handling. Just one step back for that forward pot, and they'll have it the break down the edge there.
Hannah Wilker saw the space. She was just a little bit too eager. Speaking as a forward, sometimes you just see that space in front of you, and you're so unused to it, you just start going into it.
Happens for 9s too, trust me.
Air Force will feed this scrum. We'll see if Irvine will be the option. She has been many times when the Falcons have packed down. This time they play it out.
It was great for Air Force to switch it up there because they have created a different picture in the backfield. This time we had both the 15 and the 11 of Northeastern come around to the weak side, giving more opportunity on the strong.
Well met is Mullally, but she maintains possession here. Shipchansky has to dig a little bit before she can feed her number 8.
I would love to see a little more impact across both teams for our supporters of our ball carriers. Tackle the tackler. Drive them through the point of contact. Let's impact the picture.
Johnson getting over gain line, but now they come back to the short side. And it is Balma stepping through a couple of tackles. She gets with 5 meters away. There was space momentarily on the wing, but it closes due to the slow ball. Deards carries right back into that strong interior defense of the Huskies. Now it's Sarney. There's numbers out to the right if the ball gets out. Schumann has it. She's going to run hard. Her pass is just behind her center partner, Opava. But it's still there. Malaccio brought down. And now around the corner goes Shipchansky. She'll dive for the corner, and she will score.
Great read by her. Like I said earlier, she's had great vision all day, and she's been very brave behind every single breakdown and with every tackle. She's really leading her team from the front today.
Air Force needed to make a statement there to start this second half, especially showing that they can come away from that attacking 22 with points. And it was speed. It was taking the space out on the right. Perhaps they could have used it a little bit earlier with hands, but they kept the pace of play up, and they eventually get the reward.
As well as a big momentum shift. Coming into this first half, you want to be the first to make the mark.
Referee Etheridge cruelly moving Noel Malaccio closer to the sideline and further away from the posts.
You know, she had a great strike earlier, so I'd love to see how it goes again on this. Good sound, really good sound. Just
right
shy.
on target. Cruelly again, dropping just in front of the bar.
She's really great power coming through that boot, though. She knows her steps, and she's confident in it.
It will be 17-10. The Huskies last time immediately answered after an Air Force try. What will Northeastern be able to muster here? They get to kick off, and they get to get a little bit of territory. Interestingly, Air Force gave the corners up front away. And last time Northeastern exploited that. We'll see if they'll spot this space on this near touchline right in front of us.
I would certainly step into it because they have proven they have the skill set to put the ball exactly where they want that. Wow, great regather.
A really great job to collect the ball, bouncing ball by Wilker. And that pass a bit too hot to handle for Issa. And referee Efrich blows his whistle. He was signaling for the knock-on. Perhaps forgot the whistle for a half second there. But we'll come back for the Air Force scrum here. A really great chance for Wilker to grab momentum for her team, regathering that kickoff. You see they're attacking the space that you spotted, Carly. But unfortunately, a little bit of inaccuracy with the hands and a big let-off on the pressure for Air Force.
So Air Force in control again here. We have about center of the field, and we have no one in the backfield. I love a kick option. Let's go down the weak and get meters. Pressure on defense. Chip it over here.
Malaccio has
Great
two options.
pass.
Schumann out the back. She steps inside. There is space, so she stepped to her left. But there's still room to the left, and Air Force gets it wide quickly. A big tackle comes in. Now it's Irvine. Fighting forward. Another carry. Gets Air Force on the front foot. Schumann puts it on the shoe. Finds a little bit of space behind the line.
We got to get that defensive chase up. A kick is an opportunity to get it back.
Here comes the Huskies to the left. Nothing going. A strong tackle comes in from Alama. But out the back the ball comes. Can she break around the last tackler? She's right down the touchline. She steps in field, and she's still on her feet. It is Humphreys going towards the middle on a great individual effort of footwork. A ballet dancer running down the sideline, and then steps the fullback to go in for the try.
Great connection and execution from the infield to get that ball out wide to the wing, and then the individual effort there. She showed a transfer of ball, able to throw the stiff arm and take the space.
And that has been huge both times that Air Force has scored. Northeastern immediately strikes back. What does that do to the psyche of a team that's trying to come back, that's trying to chase the game?
I think it's simply a reminder of what we're here to do and how we need to do it. So you get 1 second to breathe in that huddle and reset your goals, and then you go for it again.
The Air Force team here today, very, very young. A lot of players learning the game, learning to compete at this level, and that'll be a huge lesson to take away for sure. How do you mentally reset, get ready to get back on the field and compete again after the emotional rush of scoring a try?
I think you remind each other what you're good at. You look at the person to your left and you look at the person to your right and you say, she's a great carrier, I'm a good runner. It's okay if we tighten up for a second to give me the speed on the wing. Whatever it is, you remind each other what you're here to do and what got you here.
McAlevey puts that conversion kick through the post, and that gives Northeastern a 24-10 lead here in the semifinal. We're about 7 minutes, almost 8 minutes into this second half. Certainly enough time for Air Force to score 2 or 3 tries.
Great strike there.
Right up the middle, and the ball is dropped. Referee Chrysler gets to the mark, has a little think about whether that was forwards or straight down, eventually decides forwards, and that is how you turn the pressure right back on the opposition.
This is a really great picture for Air Force. They have a dual-sided attack set up. Let's see what picture the defense gives. Okay. See this? We've played the strong side the last 2 scrums, so now we have impacted the 15 to come around to the strong side, and we have 110 straight back off the breakdown for Northeastern. So it's a really good picture for Air Force, and it shows their tactical mind in dictating the picture.
Malaccio comes to the right, And she's just going to go straight through the middle, sees a little bit of space. She's fast. She's got good footwork, but is brought down by the last possible defender for Northeastern.
Oh.
And the ball hits the referee, which means we'll get another midfield scrum. I have to ask you this if this is true. I've heard from some of the USA Women's Sevens when they feel under pressure, hit the referee with the ball, get a reset and a clean platform to attack from. Is that any truth or no comment?
I've certainly done it a time or two, but I'm not doing it. I'm doing it more to prove a point. As well as I have no problem throwing the ball at the opposition. If you're rolling around in my breakdown and you're impeding our speed of play, I'm gonna ask for the call.
You got to make the picture that you want the referee to see.
Some refs are getting a little tighter, though, on that these days.
You see Noel Malaccio, two of them out there on the field today, right behind the scrum. But a big push comes in from Northeastern, turning pressure into an attacking platform for themselves. Air Force perhaps take the foot off the gas pedal, having the scrum ascendancy so far in the game and having such an attacking platform.
There was a time to be brave. That was it. Deep in their red zone, multiple attacking phases by Air Force.
They elect to tap, not going to kick for touch or take territory. They're going to try to run it out. A tip pass. And it is Humphreys tiptoeing on the sideline there, I believe. A high pass. Excuse me, not Humphreys, looking at the wrong sheet of paper.
It's really clear Northeastern like to play off the edge. It's easy for them to get into their shape. For me as a defender in this picture, I love defending from the edge. We can get off, we're connected, we have the whole field, and we can be very brave in this. I'd love to see Air Force pick up the energy a bit when they're defending from the edge.
And here comes the knock on cue. There's a bit of skill pressure from a bit of line speed and a similar attacking position. We see the last couple of times with these midfield scrums, Noel Malaccio lining up in that pocket right behind the scrum. What picture is she looking for here?
She's looking for exactly this. This is now the 4th scrum in a row we have manipulated the defensive setup. We have the 15 straight back, 3 strong on the weak, and 2 on the left. We know we have a good connection between our 10 and a 15. Okay, hard runner on the right. Oh, great continuity.
The offload comes. And a great job by the number 9 to win that breakdown. Creates quick ball for the pick and drive by Mullally, but the ball gets jackled at the ensuing breakdown, perhaps a little bit isolated.
Great heads up by Mullally there to just play that. If ball's available, it needs to be played. Whether you're 9 or 1, play it.
Shipchansky going forward after the turnover. She might be over the line. Referees squinting. There's a penalty advantage. Not rolling away are the Huskies. Another pick and drive coming. Mullally thinks about the tip pass, but instead decides to hold on to it. Air Force grinding through the phrases. She reaches out. The arm goes up. I believe that is Anu Alama in the corner for Air Force. They strike back. It is 24-15. Back and forth we go here in the second half. It's an explosion of scoring. What's creating this, Carly?
Well, from that was from the 9. Again, she's playing from the front. She's leading well, and she's making big carries. Big heads-up play by Mullally there to look up, recognize that wasn't her ball to score. She got it back quick and was able to play out to her forwards on the edge. That was a great team try there, especially in all that transition play. We went back and forth 3 times.
I'll say the person the team has not been too kind to is Noel Malaccio, who's been striking the ball clean from difficult angles of the field.
If anyone can do it, it's her.
Another great strike, but just a little bit short, a little way to the right as she hits the right upright, just a little bit below the bar.
As we've seen, too, from this Men's World Cup, kicks are becoming more involved in the game. They can win or lose games. That first England game, it was strictly kicks.
And now it is 24-15. Air Force will have to score twice if they want to complete the comeback. But they will have their tails up. They'll have their confidence up. And what space do we see right in front of us, Carly? Again, we'll see if it's it'll get exploited here.
Our left-hand corner. We're covering the right, but they have yet to kick there. If all 4 girls in the front could just shift across, I think it'd be favorable. And we have some big spacing out here, so it's very hard to support. If 7 gets it, it's hard to support her in contact. There we go. Great receipt.
Well done by Dana Balmas to give a good attacking platform. A strong carry by Mullally, the try scorer. Malaccio steps in to play scrum half for a phase. Schumann shifts it wide. The flanker puts it in the hands of the wing. Jiha dances up to around midfield. Deards will have the responsibility of bringing Air Force back from the touchline. As Carly said, it's such a difficult place to attack from because that defense can really launch. Irvine met high. The tackler is in the way, but the ball comes out.
Looks like we've had a bit of switch between 9 and 10 here, with Skrapchansky switching to 10 and Malaccio switching to 9.
Well, as you pointed out, Shipchansky
Great
has been
decision.
Such an instigator for the attack for Air Force, and she spots space. B-Shot Dunner does well to clean it up, and Air Force needs to get forward and chase. Mullally shuts down the dangerous counterattacker. And a mist starts to fall here in the semifinal. Will that impact the handling? Almost immediately, it looks like there's a forward pass. Might have given a slight commentator's curse to the ball handling skills on the field there.
We can't stop it.
We can't stop it.
I love that kick from Skrapchansky. It's been on all game. It's great to see her execute it. I'm interested to see how Northeastern responds to this now with their back 3 rotation.
And if Northeastern does respond by dropping players, maybe that means more space for the more traditional style of attack that Air Force clearly showed us they wanted to play in the first half.
Absolutely. Air Force has done well with their pods and their layers. It's just a matter of, I think teams forget it's okay to tighten up and play a little more narrow to give us that space on the edge for our fast girls.
Another scrum. It has been the diet of the second half. We will see how. Looks like it's just a reset here. The rain starting to come down, slowly turning from a drizzle perhaps to something more. A little 8 pick with the 9 option. Irvine gets it to Malaccio, who gets it to Shipchansky. She finds a little bit of purchase. Well done by Schumann to win that breakdown. Mullally ready for a quick phase and a strong carry, taking advantage of the quick ball. We wait for the primary signal from the referee. Both teams are backpedaling. And that is a yellow card, killing the ball. I think that was the tackler not rolling away.
We've had a few off-feet penalties throughout this game. But statistically, when a ref throws 1 yellow card, they are 75% more likely to throw another. They like to keep it even. So expect if the other team gets a yellow, your team better be on the best behavior moving forward.
16:24 to go. Air Force will have a 10-minute man advantage. And Schumann, interestingly, not Malaccio, comes in to take the kick.
I did not see what number got carded there. I do back the decision for points. But right now, we're number up. We are in our green zone. And we've done well in our scrum sets and our plays off the back of them. I think if it were me, I would have gone for the scrum and played out of it.
Well, the score now is 24-18, bringing it into a 1-possession game here. Say interesting. No Malaccio asked to take the tough kicks, the one that's easy right in front of the post. Let's give it to Schumann.
Like I said, you check your kicker's range for the day. 6-point game here.
Everything to play for. Just over 20 minutes to go. Air Force has a man advantage for the next 10 minutes. Deards gets the Falcons moving forward. We've got a replacement onto the field. That is Mindy Harlow getting her first carry. Shipchansky ships it on. Dropped backwards. Shipchansky, it's
great decision.
A little bit of soccer. Towed behind by Deards. Schumann makes the tackle on Bichot Dundee. I'm sorry, Bichot Dunner.
That's out. Somebody get on her.
Up come Air Force. There's a numbers advantage to the right, but the ball doesn't get past the hands of Margaret Burns. Now it comes to the right. Fighting around the corner and staying in the field of play are the Huskies. Now it'll be Hughes. Met strongly, not much territory to gain on that carry. The ball comes. A high pass to the hooker, but she steps a tackler and gains a few meters. Can Northeastern keep the momentum with space to the left? Oh, the pass is just a little bit short for Victoria Issa. And it will be a scrum to the Falcons. The benches starting to come into effect. We have Grace Preston onto the field. I think I also spotted Anna Hudak on the far wing, having stepped into the game earlier.
Some great phases there by Northeastern. I would love to see Air Force have a little more energy getting off the line. If you're looking at Northeastern's setup, it's easy to see they're slightly disconnected between their forwards and their backs pods. The forwards do not have an option out the back. They have one option, and that is to go forward.
A pick for Irvine, and then an offload a little bit high. Shipchansky passes it too high for her winger, who is fighting valiantly to stay in field and buy time for her support to arrive. And Shipchansky, the woman in the 9 jersey, makes a huge clear out to keep possession for her team. Malali fights to settle things down. Malaccio to Irvine, and a few shots a little bit high. You wonder if there will be some refereeing decisions that will have to come into this game.
The carries are happening a little high as well, but it is the defender's responsibility to play safely and lower their height.
Malaccio.
Huge overload
eyes
here.
her options. There's options to the right. And now Shipchansky right up the middle, splits the 2 defenders, and she is chasing hard. The recent entrant into the game. Hudak does well to corral that kick. A bit more patient in their play now are Northeastern, trying to manage this game, manage this lead. A big counter-rack effort comes in from Air Force, and that is a clean steal. And who else? It's Shipchansky, immediately putting her team on the front foot. She's got her prop with her and her inside center to secure possession. Irvine ready for a quick play of the ball. Irvine so good to give them options to go forward. There were options to the right, but Malali takes the carry on the left. And the ball is lost forward in contact, but good meters gained.
Similar to working over the fold on defense, we need to do it on attack as well. If we sit in the middle and bounce back and forth with our passes, we are asking nothing of the defense. We must work for each other.
Under pressure at that breakdown, but it comes out for Bichot Dunner, who breaks 2 tackles. It's on Malaccio. She can't get her. It's a foot race to the try line. 2 in pursuit. Can Bichot Dunner make it? Yes, she can, between the posts. And it's a try to the Huskies of Northeastern. And the pendulum swings in the other direction. So good with the counter punches have been these Huskies against the run of play. And they see themselves clear of 1 possession, making it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, the Huskies today have just been fantastic in their transition play. They know exactly what the goal is. They know where they need to be and how to get it there. And they get it to their players that they can rely on, and time after time.
Looks like there's a bit of an injury, so Northeastern soon to make a replacement. We'll bring that to you. It's number 3 off. Kira Grimes being replaced by number 22, Irene Zhang.
I love when a forward is taking the kicks for posts. Great strike.
McAlevey, bank shot off the post and through. It's 31-18 here in the first Division I women's semifinal of the day.
Her second time hitting the post today, first one that went in. From that, I think she should play the lottery later.
I would say, do you have to call your banks in rugby? Shipchansky will have the responsibility of restarting this game for Air Force. She has been a catalyst for so much success today, for so much energy.
Oh.
Another long kickoff. It was knocked on, a big whistle on the knock-on. The person who picked up the ball was offsides in front of the ball, and a quick tap. Shipchansky, who else? Adding some energy and some go forward into the attack. The arm goes out for not rolling away. Referee Etheridge has shown that he is not happy with both teams for doing that, for tacklers getting in the way. Pick and drive comes. Air Force feet away from that try line. Irvine fights. She's a bit high in contact, and she gets to ground.
I would like to see somebody here with confidence calling for this ball. What picture do they see? Who are they picking on?
Deard steps to the outside shoulder, but she can't break the tackle. There's options to the left if the ball gets out. It's in Malacho's hands. She steps inside, and she scores! And just like that, it goes 2-possession game, 1-possession game. What excitement here at the Skillbeck Athletic Grounds in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is what's great about playoff footy. Both teams putting it all on the line.
Skripchansky has been an absolute spark plug for the day for Air Force. She is leading from the front, and the team is getting behind her and moving forward, and that's incredible to see. Great strike there.
And like that, the scoreline is 31-25. We have just under 14 minutes to go in this first semifinal. It's a 1-possession game. I believe Northeastern should now be back to full strength. It looks like we have another replacement. Though it's 30 more seconds on the yellow card, as we're hearing from the referees in our ear. Hannah Wilker will be eager to come back into this game and make an impact, but she'll have to wait for one more passage of play before she gets to do that. And Air Force win that kickoff cleanly. Shipchansky shifts it on to Irvine, attacking off 10 now instead of off 9. Met well in defense by the Northeastern center. A change in tactics, playing off 10 more versus off of 9 now that Shipchansky stepped into that role. Schumann shifts it out to her center partner and through, back inside, steps. Dana Balmas. Mullally so quick to set up and give an option back in field. A strong ruck comes in from the replacement. Harlow. Irvine carries. She's a bit isolated, but gets the ball back. Shipchansky screaming for that ball to the left. It's a little short. Does what she can, puts it on the toe, and there is an isolated, nope, it's scooped up and picked up by Air Force. Nothing into something, possession, go forward, and a chance for her team to reconnect.
Really great push of pace here by Air Force. They were 100% beating the fold of Northeastern. They're creating opportunities on and off the ball. They're setting their width, and they have options on the inside. It's great to see.
Now it's Irvine. Irvine with a tip option to Mullally.
For me, this is where the Colorado energy comes back in. This is the advantage. The last 20 minutes, everyone is gassed, subs are coming in. This is when it matters.
A clear pickup in tempo. Bishot Dunner was good with the jackal there. Really well done to get over top of the ball, but a penalty advantage being played by referee Etheridge. And
that was a great ball.
Right off the tap, a pass that was a little bit too hot to handle. And there will be a scrum. Hannah Wilker coming back onto the field for Northeastern. It's 15 on 15, just over 10 minutes to play here in the first semifinal, and it is anyone's game. Another replacement on Irvine, the strong ball carrier, is replaced, I believe, with number 16, Michelle Cabonce. Irvine has had a huge impact on this game, a lot of carry work for her.
For me there, Air Force got a really positive wheel. On that, I would hope that our 15 would push her across and our wing could come down.
Bishot Dunner trying to be the hero of the day with the hat trick. She's still on her feet, and she stiff arms the flanker. And a huge individual effort for Bishot Dunner, going the length of the field to put Northeastern 2 scores adrift. Her team was under pressure. Air Force had their tails up. They had the momentum. And just like that, a great individual effort from the fullback. She's got a hat trick, and she has been an absolute spark plug for her team.
She really has. Great individual effort on the finish, but again, it comes from the inside. Everyone doing their job. Catch, pass, pin their defender. Go again.
And it will be up to the lock, Molly McAlevey. A lot of words to say today.
On the next scrum, I would hope to see Air Force just adjust a little. We're on that edge. They've run the same play consistently 4 or 5 times. Let's see how we can adjust to support each other in that. Whether that's dropping the 14 a little shallower, she can play half back, create some security for the 15, and that way we can push across sooner and make our connections on the outside edge.
McAlevey, it's a good strike, flags go up, and it is 38-25, a 13-point game, under 10 minutes to play. But the way the scoring has gone in this second half, I mean, it could be 50-45 by the time we get to full time here. It has been all-out attack from the Huskies and from the Falcons here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Do we have another twist in today's game? Right down the middle, right down the throat goes Air Force with the kickoff. Trying to do a little bit too much was Dana Balmas. Intentionally knocks on. And so a chance to relieve pressure, slow things down. Game management. Kicks it into touch. And a bank shot off of the spectator gallery. Almost hit our cameraman. Northeastern will take their time with this line out. Emma McNeil has been so accurate with her throws today. Almost again, the one-handed catch doesn't come off. So for the first time, it's a lost line out. Shipchansky picking up the loose ball, immediately finding space. Well done by the scrum half turned fly half. She's playing everywhere this game.
Oh.
And now the replacement, Hudak, is asked to put her team on the front foot. The Falcons will need to strike quickly. They need to score twice if they're going to win this ball game. Strongly met is Sarney, but the ball comes out. Now it's Schumann. Schumann steps back inside. She finds a gap. Another big ball carrier. What impact can she have on the game? She's brought down by Bashot Dunner, the attacking phenom for Northeastern.
That was a great read there on the mismatch. I'm seeing a few holes in the Northeastern connection, and she looked up and spotted you had a forward and back disconnect. One got off the line, and she took the space.
There's the penalty, not releasing. Alma quickly taps. She gets going forward. There's space away to the left. But first it looks like Deards will line up to take the first ball.
For me as a 9, when we enter this red zone, that's where I'm looking for my teammates to be calling for that ball with confidence. I want to back you in that decision. I want to back you in the carry.
There's the Husky over the ball. She gets cleaned off, and the space is there to the left, but the ball is dropped. It's still alive. The whistle goes. Oh, the drama here. It looks like another Husky will need a replacement. We will make for that wait for that change to come.
The Huskies have walked away today with a few injuries on the board. As somebody who's done it, it is very hard playing a semi on a Friday and a championship on a Saturday. It asks a lot of the program. That's when it pays off to have depth in your program and be able to build from the bottom.
Caitlin Budd will come into the game for the injured Husky. We will try to get a number for you here momentarily. Forwards needed Budd in the pack, but she has arrived. Air Force need to attack this scrum here. I believe that's Margaret Barnes who's come out of the game. Effridge taking his time to set this scrum, and I'm sure that's something the Huskies will appreciate as they try to see out this game. But the shove comes not quick enough. Well done by the Huskies. The ball into touch, and it'll take a minute or so to set this line out.
Really good decision and really good execution there on Northeastern's part. Oh, okay. Technically that's legal, and the ref needs to allow that to play on. That's a decision the team's made. A win for Air Force on this for him calling it back to the mark.
Air Force, we have just about 5 minutes to go, give or take, depending on the time on referee Curtis Effridge's watch. Ball is won for Air Force.
Great half gap there.
Harlow asked to get them on the front foot. There's space on the left side. Mullally, though, is always a strong option coming through the midfield. There's numbers to the right. Shipchansky gets the ball at her foot. She toes it through, and it's bouncing on the ground. It's near the try line. Schumann's chasing. Oh, just a little too eager and diving on top of the Northeastern player are Schumann and Shipchansky. And another chance for Northeastern to slow it down.
As a 9 at a breakdown, you have 5,000 things you have to worry about. You have to worry about your own skill set, but also how deep is their post? How clear are we going? Is somebody picking on me? I really rely on my outside people to help me see the space they see. So I'd love to see that. We had 2 breakdowns here where they had a mass overload on the weak side.
And it'll be another line-out throw for Emma McNeil. Only one miss today. A lot of space behind the Air Force defense, but it won't matter.
Not straight call, option for Air Force. Interesting they've selected the line out.
They're immediately able to set up. They have a little bit more control of the pace with the line out option, and they're going to set quickly. Northeastern reacts well. A bouncing ball falls for Air Force. A whole bunch of pinballing going on. There's a knock-on advantage for Northeastern. They will appreciate that. They will have the opportunity to control the game. There's space behind. Instead, they go through the hands of their replacement. Hudak just milking away the seconds here. About 90 seconds by our reckoning, but there's a big gap for McAlevey. Excuse me.
Really great spot on the half gap. Give the tip and make a huge break off that.
Now it's Wilker. Wilker gets the tip pass away to the wing. Brought to ground, but the counter ruck is there. Can Air Force win it? They're on their feet, perhaps, but no. Number 16, Michelle Cabon's just getting a little bit greedy, putting her hands on the ground. She just needed to ruck past and let her teammates come behind her and grab that ball.
A tough call, but that was a great read by the first in the breakdown. It's on the people coming to support to communicate whether that you're playing 9 or not.
And we hear from the field our clock is a little bit ahead of the referee's time. There's about 2 minutes to play here in this game. An early lift.
Cupped her up well.
And there's a free kick.
You put that ball down.
And a time for Northeastern to slow things down. They have the option to scrum or tap or kick.
I'm hearing Hannah Wilker here off the field call for pods. I agree with that decision. Let's slow it down, keep it in hand. We can tighten up and just trust our carries.
McAlevey gets the Huskies inside the 22. Starting to add some width, and out the back the ball goes.
Good.
Number 16, the replacement, finds a little bit of space, and she's still on her feet. She was looking for the offload, but didn't have anyone. Peterson. Now Doyle, tip pass on to O'Connor. And there's a penalty at the breakdown under a lot of pressure.
What did I say?
And there's the penalty and the yellow card, and so this game will be finished by the Falcons with one player down, I believe. That'll be their blindside flanker. Yep, that is number 6, Anna Alama. You see what she's doing there, though. They had to push the issue. They had to attack those breakdowns and try to win back possession. Now McAlevey will have the opportunity to put her team 16 points ahead under a minute to play. It's driven low, but it goes over the bar.
The last 10 minutes, and with the lead as well, is really when game management comes into play. It helps to have a few on the field, 9, 10, a back row, that are confident in the team skill set and what needs to be accomplished when. So hearing Wilker here on the edge talk about the pods and slowing it down and doing their skill set, great. Calling for the kick, good option. You do have 90 seconds. You have time.
Yeah.
Don't force it.
Shipchansky drills it low up the middle. Schumann there to make the tackle and immediately contests at that breakdown. Air Force still hungry for points, still hungry to score. You love to see that. Trying to create the turnover while they're deep in Northeastern's end, but Northeastern maintained possession. A forward pass there. And the whistle blows for full time here at the Skillback Athletic Grounds. Northeastern, after getting on the scoreboard early with the first 2 tries, hold on to win it 41-25. They are advancing to tomorrow's semifinals. What made the difference in today's this first semifinal, Carly?
The difference for me was the bravery. Not that Air Force wasn't brave. They continued to fight back, and that was incredible to see. Northeastern, though, kept shooting their shot. They ran the same play 3 times, hitting all 3 options off of it, and that is incredible IQ at this age to be able to read the picture, do what's in front of them, and then play to their strengths.
You have to say, how important was it for them to get on the scoreboard first? You gave us the statistic when Northeastern got on the board in the opening few minutes, and that scoreline about 2 tries adrift is where it finishes. That is it for us in the first semifinal of the day. Carly and I still have a lot more talking to do, so we will take a brief break as we wait for Colorado Mesa and UConn to get ready for our second semifinal of the D1 Women's CRAA Championship playoffs. We will be right back. For Carly and myself, Joe Erasmus. We hope you enjoyed this one. Final score here, Northeastern 41, Air Force 25. And we are back from the Skillbeck Athletic Grounds for the Women's Division I semifinals of the College Rugby Association of America. I am joined once again by the Eagle scrum half, Carly Waters. Carly, are you excited for the second matchup of the day?
I am excited for this matchup. Should be good. Colorado Mesa, new to the league, bumped up from D2 last year. They're hoping to play more of a 7-style game. They know their skill set and they're going to play to it.
We're going to love to see a bit of continuity. We were just treated to some great attacking rugby in the first semifinal between Air Force and Northeastern. Northeastern getting on the board early and holding that lead for the entire match, finishing the game 41-25. The second half, it was back and forth. It was try for Northeastern, try to Air Force. An exciting game, and we're hoping for the same amount of action here in the second semifinal. Remember, both these teams then do have to back up and play tomorrow in the championship game. The winner of this game meets Northeastern.
Nothing harder than playing the back-to-back. I've done it a time or two, and I don't recommend. This is when the depth in your squad really comes into play here. If you have the ability to make some subs on day one early in the game or start some typical subs, that's going to be a benefit for you on day two.
You saw that in the tactics of both teams in the first game, emptying their bench around the 25-minute to go mark, trying to save bodies. A couple of injuries. Interestingly, both of these teams, Mesa only rostering 21 of their 23, and UConn only rostering 22 of their 23 options. So not electing to not go with the full complement on the bench. Hopefully that they'll have the depth and have the ability to rest players if necessary. But first job is to win this game. What are we going to be looking for with UConn? We talked about that 7-style attack for Mesa, looking for the continuity. What is it that UConn is going to be looking to do?
UConn is a team with a lot of natural athleticism. They're looking to be quick on their transitions, both on attack and defense, and they want to take advantage of the picture in front of them. They want to use big carries and go forward with that.
It's exciting stuff to see here. Northeastern, UConn's only loss this year came to Northeastern, their potential opponent in the championship game. So they'll be looking to build momentum ahead of a potential rematch. Mesa, as you said, new to the league, first time in this situation, first time playing on this stage. What advice is a coach going to have? Obviously, that kind of energy that we're getting through the microphone is something that the coaches are going to love. How do you prepare athletes for their first time at this level on this kind of stage?
I think it really comes down to the team culture and the bonding coming into it. When I was at Penn State, we had every Friday at 5 a.m. we'd have a team bonding activity, and whether it was fitness or sharing or climbing a mountain, it's whatever the team needs in that moment and just grounding in that.
UConn will kick off going left to right on your screen. They are in the navy blue Canterbury kit, in the maroon and white and gold. It is Colorado Mesa University. Newcomers, let's see how they get on off with the first opportunity to potentially attack here. We are just waiting on referee Liz Pagan as she gets mic'd up with her team of 3. Liz, North Carolina native, being tapped for this semifinal appearance. You talk about it being an honor for the players. To get to referee in championship games is an honor for them as well. The opening kickoff is dropped, but dropped backwards by Liz Thomas. But the pass is forward to Nayeli Robles Vasquez. She will have an opportunity to make up for the forward pass immediately, though, here in the scrum. First scrum of the game. We had to wait almost 20 minutes. In the last semifinal, this one, about 20 seconds.
Right now, this can be a big momentum shift, both at set piece and ball in hand. I'm excited to see what comes of it.
Mesa gets a little bit of go forward, but the ball is quickly out for the Huskies. Stepping and still on her feet and offloading was Durden to her center partner. We wait for a sign, and Liz Pagan's hand goes up And just like in the first game, the Huskies again strike early.
That was great to see there. I will say, steady platform off the scrum, both on attack and defense. And Mesa had great speed off the line.
Durden made the gain line initially and got her hands free. I believe she offloaded to Anna Griffiths, who eventually carried over the line and was at the bottom of that pile to ground the ball. It will now be up to Parker Pretty to convert from around the 5-meter tram line on the left side of the field. Pretty strikes it well. Just short.
Shout out to Anna Shellman for acknowledging that there is a live microphone on the field.
A good lesson to be taken by anyone playing on broadcast or streaming for the first time. You can always be picked up.
I can tell you it happens on the field as well. If you're a 9 and you're right next to the ref, you are caught.
Do they do media trainings for 9s at the test level?
Not on field training.
And the tradition of forwards in big kicking roles continues today as Courtney Hull is asked to kick deep on the opening kickoff. A strong carry by UConn gets them up around the 10-meter line on their half, and they go to work. A strong carry now for Dordan. The counter ruck, and Mesa senses blood. There are definitely hands in there. Apparently it was the hand from behind the last foot for UConn, and look at that speed to try to go forward in transition, just like you predicted, Carly. Great hands there by Vituccio to catch the low pass.
Mesa are doing a great job around the breakdown, checking and confirming where the threats are. They just need to stay connected on the launch up.
It's DeFabio. Strong carry. She gains 10 meters around the fringes. The counter-rucking tactic is clear.
Great hands there by the 10. Oh.
And a little off the toe, and it's cleaned up by Mesa.
Great carry by Nayeli here.
She will fight forward and go to ground on her own terms. Mesa's got a couple of forwards, but skips all of them. A pass coming from Hull to her winger. Love to see a hooker to wing connection. Mesa really looking to shift the point of attack, and there's this bit of space in the midfield. They talked about wanting continuity, and they are creating it. The knock-on and the advantage is there for the Huskies. They've got numbers to the left. Durden calling for the ball. But scrum half, Creekmore slows things down, decides to go to her right. Outside center, Durden steps. There was a whistle going back a little bit of ways. I think that might have been for the initial knock-on. It was. Apologies on the pronunciation. The lock is Dordan, and the wing is Durden. Or excuse me, the outside center is Durden. And it'll be a scrum to the Huskies right around midfield. They've got a short blind side here with Parker Pretty lining in space. You could look for a little 8-9 move.
Yeah, interesting to see Mesa here did switch their strong side flanker to the weak side in anticipation of that.
Instead, they go to the open side. And good meters gained in defense there by Mesa.
That ball's available.
It's played slowly and deliberately by Creekmore. She finds Dordan. Dordan is being held up, but eventually gets to ground, and the tacklers release. Vituccio ships it on to DeFabio.
Oh, great hands there.
And the ball is stolen in the breakdown. Getting a lot of action early is the tight head prop, Robles Vasquez. And the kick from Mesa right up the middle. That was a boot. It's going to sit up perhaps in goal. been a bit of a bobble, but here comes UConn on the counterattack. Lost forward in the offload attempt, and a great opportunity from Mesa coming from a great kick.
That decision and execution by number 10, Ellen, was fantastic. And then the team's following support to shut down that ball, incredible.
There's space on the edge, but the fullback can't get around the corner, can't get around Durden, and a great effort to chase down in defense. There's the counter ruck, and now Durden turns defense into attack. It is her teammate, Naomi Segua, gaining some good meters. And they decide to kick. This one is high, and it will hang in the air and bounce. Creekmore chases on, makes a good tackle on her opposite. Can't get it done at the breakdown, though. Mesa looking to counterattack. This has been end-to-end stuff. A great take on the offload by Hull. She finds her front row partner, and she gets it back. This is exciting continuity offloading rugby.
Fantastic transition plays here, and I would say thus far Mesa's accomplishing their task of playing to their skill set and playing a fast sevens game, getting that offloads.
Oh, big step by the tight head prop, bamboozles the Huskies defender. You gotta love the adventure from this Mesa forward pack so far. They keep the ball alive with the little pop pass.
There is nothing harder to defend than continuity at a breakdown. The pops off the ground, the hands free. It's a scary thing for a defender. Do you bite in? Do you hold out?
UConn will breathe a sigh of relief for the first ruck in a hot second. Mesa will look to rebuild their momentum, refine that continuity. But there's a big gap in the middle and a lovely offload.
Wow, great footwork here by the 13.
Mesa, it's Metzger streaking forward after the offload. Another offload, and the ball is still alive.
Love to see a 9 getting touches off the ball.
The connection in the center, setting it up, Scheck to Metzger. And now Mesa has an opportunity. Oh, but the hands finally, the ball doesn't stick. You thought they might all have glue on their hands because those offloads, all of them are popping off. This is exciting stuff here in Charlotte.
You can see this is the foundation of their play. They're all confident in it. They have each other's back, and they're supporting through the breaks.
We have a quick moment as there's a Husky that is down, but you see that pressure being applied on UConn. You see a lot of UConn players with hands on hips. How fatiguing is it to defend when the ball is just constantly in play, constantly out of the ruck, and you constantly have to find your connection?
Oh, it's endless. You're playing broken defense is the hardest thing to do on the field. And when you're getting turned around or, okay, I have to bite in now, but that's not the right read, it's disconcerting.
You know, we have talked about how Mesa wants to play the sevens style game, but the other thing that I found really, really exciting about that passage was it all started with a great kick and a great spot of space, ask questions of those defenders, and now they're thinking about the kick space. They're thinking about the offload, and it's creating a whole lot of challenges.
I think the 7 style really suits what Mesa's skill set. And I think that when they are slowing the breakdown, the 9 and 10 are both doing a fantastic job in managing the speed of play. They know exactly when, okay, we're going to slow it down here to pick it up in 3 phases. They know what they're looking at.
It looks like UConn's outside center, Keisha Durden, after a little bit of attention, is going to be good to go, which is important. She has been a big contributor. She set up the first try for the Huskies. And now UConn has the ball at the scrum. Can they get out of their own 22? Mesa, big shove. They're going forward, and it looks like the ball is out the back. UConn, a hurried kick. It goes cross field, and it is collected. Immediately tackled, though.
It's a great arm wrap there.
UConn, they spot space around to their right. Mesa scrambling. Finally brought to ground by Scheck. And it looks like the ball might have been, yes, turned over. That was Liz Toma. She gets the turnover. She gets her team on the front foot. And the exciting Mesa rugby. Hull shifts it on. It goes out to the fullback. It's Pennick going for the corner. She gets brought down, but she gets the offload away to her wing. Zelly Moore. And just shipped into touch.
Great continuity there between the forwards and the backs. The backs are calling the space. They're seeing it. They're communicating effectively, and the forwards are getting it out. What more can you ask for?
I will take this moment to remind you that today's championship matches are brought to you by 8x8 Sports, the presenting sponsor and official apparel partner of the CRAA Championship Weekend. 8x8 Sports, we move you forward. A line out now, another set piece opportunity, but under heaps of pressure for UConn. It's a bouncing ball, cleaned up, and forced to ground it in the in goal. It was taken back by UConn. Riley Blatnick left with no option other than to ground the ball to prevent Mesa from scoring. And now it goes from an attacking set piece to defensive set piece, 5 meters out.
Being this is their first year in the D1 division, there is nothing better than being the underdog. You are doing the hunting, and Mesa is absolutely thriving on this right now.
Referee Pagan prepares to bring the packs together. Reminds everyone whose scrum it is. Mesa has the ball at the back. The 8 picks. She's going for the line around the corner. She's brought down just short. Let's see how Mesa can play in this area of the field. The penalty comes. The quick tap.
Good decision by Mesa there to play quick. Very brave to pick off that 5-meter channel that close to the try line.
Mesa will set up another tap move. Met well by the Huskies defenders, but Hull pulls the ball out. There are numbers to the left. Can they get it to the edge? It's a foot race to the corner. Chavez doesn't think she can get there, so she decides to step back inside.
Good decision to form the breakdown here.
There's space to the right now. All kinds of questions being asked of the defense. Bishop brought down by Jordan.
Nothing better than a lock on the loose.
Another carry, but well met. No space for Rachel Simler. Excuse me, Rebecca Simler. Robles Vasquez gains a couple of meters, but she's not quite there yet. They're knocking on the door. This is the tough area of the field. Hull shifts it out. Hull has been used as a bit of a first receiver for this Mesa team.
Oh.
The ball squirts out the side of the rock, and UConn turn it over. A big pressure reliever for the Huskies. Now there's space away to the right, but they kick instead. No one is home at the back. It is a foot race, and chasing hard is Pretty. Pretty is chasing her opposite. But well done to get around by Zelly Moore. Does she have support? Looks like Mesa will hold on to the ball. They will be disappointed to lose those 45 meters, and they'll have to build back into the far end of the field. Kind of like we saw in the last semifinal. One team goes up and another team gets that possession in territory. Can they make it pay off?
Really great decision there by UConn to get that ball and relieve some pressure.
Oh, and a great spot of space. The ball goes over Pretty, but a kind bounce sits up. It won't roll all the way. Pretty will step back to the inside. She finds the offload to her 9. And now it's Vertuccio taking it into contact. UConn perhaps trying to bring some order and structure into the game, but DeFabio makes a strong carry.
I'm loving both of these teams have done so well to look up and recognize the space in the backfield and execute the correct kick decision in that.
Creekmore digs for it. She gets it out to Vertuccio, who shifts it out to Durden. Durden, a lovely little step, and she goes around the corner. She's trying to go for the center. Stepping back inside. Perhaps the try was on if she stayed wide, but her center partner is gonna crash over for the try.
Really great stutter step there in the middle. I think if it's me, if I was ever fast, I would choose to back myself to the edge.
I say I don't have even the delusions of imagining when I was fast, or if I was fast. Anna Griffiths eventually converts the try. Perhaps the space was there for Durden. Looked like she wanted to create a little bit nicer of a kick for her teammate. And Parker Pretty will have the opportunity to extend this lead to 12 points. And this feels a lot like the last game. You know, one team scores early, gets on the front foot. The other team deep in their end just can't turn that pressure into points. And then a counterpunch the length of the field, sparked by Durden.
I don't think much is going to deter Mesa right now. They're playing with a lot of heart. They're playing their game. Nothing's worse than when you meet a different standard than you're expecting, right? And I think they're playing at peak performance right now.
It has been fun touchline to touchline stuff from Colorado Mesa. Absolutely thrilling rugby. The only question is, can they make it count in the right areas of the field? And admittedly, it's harder to play that continuous offloading style of rugby once you're into that final fifth or final quarter of the pitch. Can they find that spark to get them over the line? For now, it's 12-0, Parker Pretty converting that second try, and they will have to chase a 2-try deficit. Hull, a lovely kickoff, but it's fielded cleanly.
Wow.
Oh, and streaking up the middle.
Thread the needle there.
She scored 2 tries. She wants another, but just brought down is Griffiths.
Great turnover by Mesa here.
What can they do with it? There's space and gaps away to the right. And right is where they go. The tip pass, a little behind its target. They shift it on. The wing had overrun the pass, so wisely kept and brought into contact. And they set up again. Robles Vasquez. She's got lightning quick feet as she dances through a gap. She has been absolutely electric with her footwork. Well met in a tackle. Great job by Anna Shellman to deny Mesa any space, any go forward. Now the ball comes wide. No opportunity for, well, maybe there is an opportunity for an offload. Hull is trying to rip this ball out. Eventually it goes to ground.
Mesa are doing a really good job identifying the space they want to get into. I think if they put a little more hop in their step to get to speed to set, it will really benefit their style of play.
The ball a little bit slow, but now it comes to the right. It's knocked backwards and dove on by a Mesa player. Mesa composes themselves and takes the time to set. A strong carry from the number 7. Pelham Wagensell asserting herself into the game. Hull steps in at dummy half, finds her front row partner. Seems like there might be some winded lungs for Mesa, and they decide to put the ball in the air. Neither team goes for the contest, but it looks like there is an advantage. Penalty advantage.
Good IQ on that to just take the opportunity. No harm in that when you have the advantage.
Referee Pagan brings it back for offsides. This game has been played at a blistering pace here for the better part of 20 minutes. I'm sure both teams will appreciate a little bit of a breather right now. And there's a blood sub on. We'll try to get the number for you really quickly. It's the 10. Vertuccio, Hunter Vertuccio, who's had to step off. Just a little bit of a bloody nose and a little bit of a shift. It looks like Parker Pretty will step in off of the wing to be the fly half, and swinging out to the back is 21, Lillian Aubie. Strong counter ruck, but UConn maintained possession. Continuity for UConn has come at a price, but a strong carry breaking through the tackle, streaking forward. Can she be brought to ground? The number 8 does a little forward roll. She wasn't held, but she'll be stopped just short.
Great IQ there of her to know that she does not need to post the ball. She can get back up and go again.
Durden for the line, and she's over. She set up 2 tries, and she takes the 3rd one for herself. A great try for the outside center, Keisha Durden.
You know, we have forward rolls in some of our conditionings, and while we roll our eyes at it, that's exactly the reason why. That moment right there.
A great job by Margaret Delvin to break free of that scrappiness on feet, emerge with the ball, and just streak down the field. You gotta love a forward that's just got a sense to go forward. Parker Pretty will have the opportunity to convert the try from near the left touchline. Strikes it low on target, but under the crossbar, so it'll remain 17-0. Mesa not wasting any time as they jog up to the midfield. They might have an opportunity to catch UConn napping, who are just walking back into place to set up for this kickoff. Mesa's hooker, Courtney Hull, has had some lovely restarts.
She really has. I'm curious if she has been a back in her former life, because she loves to pass the ball as well.
Yeah, she's stepped in at dummy half a couple of times. She stepped in at first receiver and distributed.
So a jack of all trades. Nothing better in rugby.
Hull tests the ground, perhaps softening as the rain starts to fall again here in Charlotte, North Carolina. She goes straight up the middle. Tempest Rosario fights forward.
Incredible there at the breakdown. But it is not legal to play the 9.
I'm sure whoever intercepted that pass had their was licking their chops, thought that they had it all on a platter.
It was our friend Courtney Hull. She was ready to go yet again.
Everywhere on the field. This young front rower from Colorado Mesa. Durden restarts things. She is brought down by Hughes. Now it's DeFabio. Pretty, who stepped in to fly half, distributes to her center. Hunter Verruccio just off the field, getting attended to for some blood. Vertuccio. And Mesa back the other way. Quickly around the right side goes the winger, and she will score the first points. It's Zelly Moore touching down, and Colorado Mesa close the deficit.
Incredible solo effort there.
I, like a lot of the players, thought that the play was dead. We saw the knock on, but you have to play to the whistle. All of a sudden, Mesa emerge and quickly are striking the other way. UConn talked about the quick transitions, but it's been Mesa who's been attacking and really winning those opportunities.
It's not said necessarily in the definition of sevens, but I think your ability to transition when under the pump is a key of good sevens. So if that is what they are trying to emulate here, they're hitting it on the head.
Vertuccio rejoins her team after cleaning up a little bit of blood.
Great strike there.
And Courtney Hull, she's here, she's there, she's everywhere, and she converts the try. It's 17-7. A 10-point game. Under 20 minutes to play here in the first half. We're at the Skillback Athletic Grounds of Charlotte Rugby Club in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is the Fall Classic weekend. We've got a full lineup of games tomorrow, including the Division I final between these two teams. A couple of bowl games between the D1A men's sides. Are you getting enough rugby this weekend, Carly?
Just enough. I mean, we are at the end of the season for most leagues, so it is great to see it still active and being the last event for the year.
Parker Pretty gets to hit her team's first restart, doesn't wait for her teammate to tie a shoe. Wants to get things going quickly, and it's a nice deep kick up the middle. Mesa spotting some space. Courtney Hull gets it. She shifts, and it's Hull again, following her pass, getting involved in the game. This is electric stuff. Robles Vasquez, she's back into the game.
The style of play right now for Colorado Mesa is really reminding me of Fiji. They're keeping alive, they're brave, they're confident, and they're taking opportunities when they present themselves.
And their front rowers are getting so many touches on the ball, so many passes, so many offloads. This is great stuff, 1 through 15. Oh, and the pass goes a little bit wayward. UConn recover it, and Durden quick to scoop it up. And like so often before, she puts her team into a great position. But the turnover is good. Hunting over the ball is Pelham Wagonsail.
Mesa has been well drilled in their ability to scan the picture and know the laws.
What a nudge as she finds space behind the UConn defense. They had 4 back, and she finds about the only hole. Great length on that kick. There's the knock on, but the Mesa's not satisfied. It's Pelham Wagonsail. She's being run down. Does she have support? She gets tackled in a rare ruck for Mesa, but they are on the front foot. They've got numbers away to the left. The ball gets shipped. Here it comes. It's a 3-on-1 for the corner. Will she put her head down? Going for the try line is the number 11. She's just short. It's picked up. The tackle, she stays in field miraculously. It's well done by the center.
Incredible phase play there.
Here it comes. It's still alive. UConn has a little bit of time to gain their connection and set. Hull at the back of that breakdown decides to pick and drive. Not a lot of UConn defenders around the edge of that breakdown, maybe sensing an opportunity to change tactics as the Mesa forwards go to work in the fringes, and now the ball comes wide. The offload, the space is there on the right. If she can pick it up. Oh, the last pass just goes begging, and a great job by UConn to come forward and take advantage. But Mesa immediately looking to go forward. Slowing the ball down. It's Robles Vasquez making the offload. There is the try. Well deserved. The possession started 2 meters from their own try line with a turnover. It was Pelham Wagonsail who makes the first gigantic break to take him 60 meters down the field. Murray Chavez comes back the left side. I've been talking so much because that was so much rugby. You gotta love it.
Incredible phase play there, probably between 9 and 12 phases, and Mesa stuck it out. That took grit to put their head down and finish that series.
Oh, and now I'm gonna need a sip of water after all of that action. It was end-to-end stuff. They went 98 meters for the score. The ball went touchline to touchline. This is great. This is what playoff footy should be about.
UConn are clinical with ball in hand, though, so I have no concerns as to them staying in this game.
Hull strikes it just left of the post, so it will be 17-12. We're getting close to about 10 minutes to go. There is a Mesa player just receiving a little bit of attention. Which is a great time to remind you that USA Rugby is proud to partner with the College Rugby Association of America for the 2023 Fall Classic. With future USA Eagles taking the pitch today, we are pleased to support this experience for all student athletes. Learn more about the USA Eagles and how you can get involved with USA Rugby. You're a fan of that team, aren't you, Carly?
Go Birds. R11 here for Mesa, Vanessa Santana. She did take a little bit of knock to the head when she made that fantastic break on the edge down here. I think it's always better safe than sorry. It is hard in these instances when you want to be with your team and playing, but when it comes to the brain, we don't mess around.
Always the right decision.
It's good she was able to get an eval.
And as soon as the referee allows play to resume, Pretty immediately kicks, but gives a whole lot of space for Mesa to rumble forwards. Hull, long, great pass right on the money. The second pass is just a little bit high. Does not find the hands of Carly Scheck. Dordan can't handle it, a little bit too hot, and now Mesa off the turnover have the opportunity to attack. Referee Pagan up. Notice there was a first knock on by Mesa before the knock on by UConn, so we'll come back for a UConn scrum.
I appreciate when it's getting a little bit ping-pongy that the ref just, for safety's sake, let's blow it up and set the platform again.
A great opportunity with great resources today. Assistant referees in both games mic'd up. This might be a new experience for some of these players at the D1 club level.
Great drive here by Mesa.
And Vertuccio shifts it wide. Now the ball is in the number 8. She's had some impactful runs before, but she's brought to the ground this time. It's Durden immediately trying to get her team on the front foot. She's been involved a ton in setting up tries and scoring herself.
It's really great to see number 8 for UConn, Liz Toma, to be a part of that scrum and then immediately find work looping off the ball off her backs.
UConn are down a player, but there is the penalty. The whistle goes. Mesa immediately taps, immediately finds space. Does she have the wheels? It is a foot race. It is a track meet here. She is caught and she stays on her feet for support to arrive. There are runners lining up to the left. There's so much space. Can Mesa get it wide? It's one more pass. It's Robles Vasquez. She gets the offload away to her center and going between the sticks. That is Elise Metzger. It's end-to-end stuff again. This Mesa team is so electric, making something out of nothing, turning turnovers on their own goal line into attack, and we are tied at 17 here in the first half of the second semifinal.
Really incredible heads up by our number 9, Riley Blantneck there. Makes that break. Her team is in quick support. Ball is played away, and we are set in our shape. They are earning every meter they make.
We have 6 tries, and they have all been electric. They've all been exciting. You see the UConn defense so stout and so strong in the beginning, being worn out, being moved left to right, being asked to make many, many tackles, and the reward has been there for Mesa. What a first half of rugby, and it's not done yet.
Best policy, play attack, because defense is tiring.
Courtney Hull splits the post, and Mesa have their first lead of the game, 19-17, under 5 minutes to go. A few UConn players being given attention. Sabrina Daigle got a little bit of a look, but she seems to be okay to continue. On the far side, we have another player down who just looks like has a cramp being tended to. And this is a good time to remind you that the Rugby Network is the official partner of the College Rugby Association of America. The Rugby Network is your free destination for all your rugby content needs, including free live streaming of U.S. Major League Rugby matches, international matches, U.S. college matches, highlights, weekly rugby shows, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Sign up today for free at rugbynetwork.com. You and I are going to be on there tomorrow for the finals and a host of other bowl games.
My first time not on the pitch on the network.
And Mesa immediately looking to get back on the front foot. They smell blood. They have their tails up. Wagon Sail steps in. She spots a little bit of a gap and drives her legs through. Now the ball gets shifted out to the right. Oh, the switch just doesn't find hands. Knocked forward. And UConn, who have not seen a whole lot of possession in the last 15 minutes or so, will finally get a scrum in the attacking half.
The sun is setting here, the lights are on, and there is certainly a chill coming upon us. I think this might have an impact in terms of handling and muscle warmth. Warm-ups will be need to take in more seriously, and got to find any way to keep those hands warm because I know mine are cold.
Well, one thing that hasn't deterred Mesa is the drizzle. They have been playing free-flowing footy despite the conditions.
Great drive again by Mesa, creating havoc at the back of the scrum for UConn.
Bertuccio cleans it up. The pass from Griffiths to Durden is wayward, but will play a knock-on advantage, I believe. We'll go back to the scrum. The little chip through to kill the advantage landed just about perfectly there for Mesa's Amuri Chavez.
I am curious to see what Mesa does here. They are set very deep, but if you look at UConn, their 15 is practically in the line. Space to take, and they love it, and they've got the wheels for it.
Well, and let's not forget that Ellen Rickard has a great boot and has pushed it down the middle before, but they'll go wide, and that ball a little bit wayward, but Mesa does well to collect. And it looks like UConn turns over that breakdown and immediately turning defense into attack. Bertuccio going forwards, trying to give a spark to her team. Ball is slow as Creekmore has to work over to that breakdown. A big shot comes in from Robles Vasquez.
UConn have just come alive with ball in hand here.
Durden looks for space but gets thrown to the ground. Perhaps a knock-on, no. Creekmore feeds it to her flanker. She steps, gets the offload away to Pretty. The Mesa defense comes forward. Durden takes that pass, rolling forward, but she's got nowhere to go. Creekmore slow to play the ball. DeFabio, she's had some good carries. She gets moving forward. Bertuccio. The ball is knocked on.
Some really great phase play there. Mesa was set. They were ready to go. You could tell they wanted that ball back.
Ellen Rickard, referee Pagan, judged, was trying to go for the intercept. Got two hands on it. Generally, if you get two hands, the referees will be a little bit kinder.
Hey, come on, Blue, keep it up.
By law, yes.
And things calm down for a second. This might benefit UConn. Interestingly, they got a little bit of an I formation going behind the scrum.
I think to combat this, Mesa has set up fairly well. You don't know which way they're about to go and what threats they're going to use, but they've been creating havoc at the back of the breakdown for them, so that's favorable.
Bertuccio goes right. She's got Durden. Durden steps, looks for the offload, finds her fullback, but nowhere for her fullback to go. Mesa has a player on the ball, and it's a great pilfer. And they're going forward again, turning defense into attack, always looking to keep the ball alive. And the ball still goes. Another offload. There's the pass. Oh, it just doesn't stick. Unfortunate handling error there for Elise Metzger. Just scored a try, but you have to say, as many offloads as they've had 2 or 3 knock-ons in the first half is well within the margin of error that's acceptable.
Oh, absolutely.
UConn have another scrum, similar setup. Mesa being super disruptive to that first pass. They might not be turning over the ball at that scrum, but they are making it really, really difficult for Creekmore to find Vertuccio. And here's the drive. This time the ball does squirt out the back for UConn. Durden has it. She's been excellent at beating defenders. Her offload finds the Mesa number 8 from driving in the scrum to intercepting a pass. It's hard work for Liz Toma.
Great IQ by her to continue her launch forward. Take the space, ride high.
And another tackle comes in. Mesa losing some territory in that phase, and because of that, they slow things down, refine their shape and support. Hull, the playmaker, off to Robles Vasquez. And then Hull rips out the offload. She wants to keep play alive. Not a whole lot of space to be found on the left side, so they go to the right. They shift the point of attack so quickly. And there's a whistle. And it's a penalty for offsides, a bit of a pressure reliever. UConn was starting to find some connection and starting to find some go forward in defense. I think this is the longest break to take a tap. Mesa is taken, but then they shift it, and it's going left, and the space is there. First, there's a gap, though, and it is the number 12 splitting defenders, sliding through. She's got support from her number 10. It's Rickard, and now the ball goes to Chavez. Chavez forced to take it down. Now it's Robles Vasquez getting involved again. So many involvements. She finds her number 8. It's Liz Toma.
Incredible face ball there by Rickard to her number 12, Carly, who had that swerve to just drive right through it, and then Rickard to get the support again.
Wagon sail offloads to Hull. UConn tries to find the pilfer but can't get the hands on it. And the pass falls just short. And so it'll be a knock-on, and a blistering first half of rugby comes to an end. Carly, what can't you say about that first half of rugby?
It was incredible. That was the fastest 40 minutes I've ever watched. It does not feel like that has passed. I'm so engaged in this game. It's so exciting, and I'm a really big fan of both of these teams.
It's been the counter punches coming from the Huskies, especially the 13, Durden, who does so well to put her team on the front foot. Also the number 8, I believe that's Devlin, who split the game open as well. But what team rugby have we seen from Mesa? It's been electric. The ball's been alive. The offloads are sticking in the rain. It has been exciting playoff footy here in the first half of the second semifinal of the Division I Women's Playoff. We have more action to come here in the second half, but I think I speak for Carly and myself. We need a drink of water and to catch our breath before the action resumes. We will be back shortly in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Locked and loaded.
Welcome back to the Skillbeck Athletic Grounds. As you heard from Carly, we are locked and loaded for the second half. It has been non-stop action. Big individual performers, big-time athletes on display for the UConn Huskies, and it has been all continuity, attack, offloading play, keep the ball in play, keep it alive for Colorado Mesa. What are both of these teams going to be looking to do, maybe change here in the second half, Carly?
I think Mesa just keep it up. They have energy on defense, they're connected on attack, and they strike when the opportunity arises. UConn, they have consistent handling skills. They just need to get ball in hand a little more. Have more energy on the defense. Defense is attack without the ball. You gotta want it.
And talking about that energy, a big thing you can do is just get ball carriers to deck quickly. That takes away the opportunity to offload. That smothers that attack and that momentum. Create those turnover opportunities. Liz Pagan coming back onto the field. The teams await her. As we get ready for Courtney Hull to kick off the second half. It's 19-17, it's anyone's game. And seeing some space short on the left side, that's where Hull decides to go. A nice accurate kick, but they gave it to the danger woman, Durden. She's brought down well. A penalty at the breakdown. Did you spot what that was?
Not throwing the motion. If anything, I would say diving over.
UConn. Seems like a committee making the decision.
We haven't really had many lineouts in this game, have we?
There have not been many lineouts. Both teams want to keep the ball alive. An
Cheeky.
Interesting little move by Creekmore. And through the middle, finding a little bit of space is Rosario on a hard line. The counter comes in from Mesa. It looks like they might be past the ball. A second shove comes and secures things for UConn.
Yeah.
And there was a side entry there. That's what stopped the Mesa momentum.
That was a fantastic cheeky play by UConn, but hats off to Mesa. They continued to launch. They were ready for it.
There's the tap by Blatnick. Going through the middle is Hughes. And now it comes to the right. Metzger's met, but she offloads to Chavez. Pelham wagon sail. Gets the offload away to Hull. The offload is forwards. That's lucky for UConn. The woman in the 2 jersey who does it all, she saw some space and she had her head down. Now, I guess it's hard to say she had her head down because even when she's on a full sprint and in contact, she's been finding the offloads as well.
I expect nothing less.
It'll be a UConn scrum.
See, this is the first dynamic defensive setup we've seen today in terms of putting our wing half back to support our 15. On both sides, our 11 is actively roaming here for Mesa. Very heads up of her.
A strong drive. The ball dribbles out the back. UConn under pressure with the Mesa backs coming forward. Durden will have the job of cleaning it up. She won't get away. She offloads. A little bit isolated, but UConn managed to maintain possession, and they kick. There's a bit of space there. It's a bouncing ball, and it'll be on Pennick to regather and counterattack. She runs towards support and gets moving forward. She is dragged down. But the play continues. Robles Vasquez, she steps inside, looks for the offload. She finds Hull. And Hull just drops it. But backwards and towards her team, Mesa keeps possession.
Great work and support to get back there.
Now the ball comes, and it's Sheck stepping through the offload. off the hand. It looks like the assistant referee spotted that the ball went forward. A tough pickup there for Zelly Moore. Mesa still full of adventure here in the second half. The sun is starting to set, playing under the lights. You'll wonder if these young women have had the opportunity to play in a lighted setting. I know that can be different for your vision, for your depth perception, playing at night versus playing in the day if you're not used to it. The Mesa pack will look to go to work again as the scrums come together.
I'd be curious to see what UConn are reading here because their attacking line is very flat, almost deceivingly so to be set up for defense.
The ball shoots out and a forward pass. It's bouncing on the ground. Liz Pagan plays a long advantage because Mesa has been so good at turning those bouncing balls into attack. But eventually the UConn Huskies clean it up, and so we'll come back for the scrum. We've seen all the dominance on the UConn feeds. We've seen perhaps more scrums for UConn. Mesa's had more possession and playing with a little bit more panache.
Can I have the definition, please?
Kind of pizzazzy.
Okay. Agreed.
Here comes the pick to the left side. And there is space. A well-worked 8 to 9 move to the wing. And she's taken around the shoulders.
Penalty
she knocks
try.
On,
No, penalty try.
but
High
it
tackle.
is a penalty try. And that is 7 points on the board. A 9-point advantage. We'll see if the wing, I believe it was either Zelly Moore or Sarah Pennick, down there after taking the high tackle. We'll also see if there's a yellow card, which typically accompanies the penalty try.
I am quite literally jumping out of my seat over here. Incredible skill set there with the pin and pass. Their timing, their consistency, and their accuracy. Unmatched today.
We love to see it. We will. We might have to get the brain trust behind CRAA to put together a match of the weekend prize, because right now Mesa UConn, especially Mesa, are putting on a show for us.
Like I said, it pays to be the underdog. You are on the hunt. That gives you energy.
Well, you've got to love the approach that Mesa has taken to it. Like you said, a new level of play, a new situation, new levels of pressure, and they have risen to that occasion and then some.
They've proven that they deserve to be here, and that's what matters.
A penalty try, of course, we're 7 points with no conversion necessary, so it's 26 to 17. A low-driven kick finds Robles Vasquez, and she's got her scrum half on the inside. Blatnick.
She is brave because I do not want that ball off of a kickoff.
She found a little bit of a half gap, but an unsuspecting Luck gets hit in the hands with the ball, and it is a knock on. So UConn, they really need to use this platform because it's been about 30 minutes of game time where Mesa has just found a stride, found all the rhythm, found all the momentum. They have the playmakers to do it. Durden out in the back line, at the back of that scrum. Margaret Devlin, a dangerous weapon.
15's inserted here outside the 13 as well, so they have multiple options on.
But the shove comes. It's just cleaned up. Despite going backwards, UConn has done well to clean up those the scrum platform, and there's the offload. Durden puts her center partner, Griffiths, into space. The Huskies are lining up to the right. Pretty
Great
finds her teammate, puts her through into a gap. That was Rosario. She's had some big carriers. Switching the direction. is DeFabio.
Let's go.
UConn getting a gust of energy here.
Let's go.
Wow.
There's a steal in the breakdown by the number 12. That's Sheck who creates the turnover. Chavez gets a little bit isolated, running sideways, but her team secures the ball and set things up. Hull passing right at the line.
Great decision.
Finding a bit of space is Rickard. And there's the chase, but it's one-on-one. A great step, and all those meters gained in the kick are lost. Madeline Kelly finds some go for it, but there's a turnover at the breakdown. Mesa the other way. She gets driven into touch. Say we can hardly keep up with all this action here. It's back and forth. I'm getting tired. I'm getting exhausted just watching it.
You have to note the IQ of our Mesa 11 over here when she was on the edge carrying into contact. She worked so hard for that Superman finish to give her team that extra meter from the defense. Superman is great, but sometimes when we're producing fast ball, me as a 9, I just want the ball as quick as possible. I don't need that extra meter. I want the ball.
And UConn, a little bit of go forward down that touchline, about the second or third line out of the game. There are numbers to the left. If UConn, well, it was jackled, and by who else? Courtney Hull. But there was a knock-on spotted by the assistant referee. I think that was at the line out.
Looks like it.
So we will go back for that knock-on advantage. Another scrum. You think UConn might prefer the line-out option? Oh, no, it is a penalty.
I'd be curious to know what swung that decision.
The Mesa players were a little confused. We were as well in the booth. But it'll be a tap move. See if Creekmore has anything else sneaky up her sleeve. Same thing around the back. Dordan finds a bit of space. She gets the offload away. It's DeFabio, still on her feet. Mesa trying to rip that ball away.
Mesa making a maul here.
And who has come away with it? It is UConn's ball still.
Big edge here for UConn. See if they can execute.
Mesa scramble well in defense. A little bit tired, not coming up off the line as hard as before. Pretty carries, gets over the gain line. Now it's Rosario. She gets dropped. DeFabio off her hands. Devlin scoops it up. A host of Mesa players on the ball, slowing it down. And
Great
9,
hit.
Creekmore taking too long to play the ball. She eats a big shot. UConn a little frantic, trying to make something happen, losing meters. Some tough passes to catch. Pretty just decides to carry, tries to get her team on the front foot. UConn, having looked so composed at the beginning of the game, the pressure of having to defend all game long, clearly paying off.
The energy from Mesa right now.
Griffiths does well to control that. Pretty was actually retreating when she caught that ball. Fortunate to have Jennifer Cohn as a tip pass option there for her. And you can't do that.
Right idea.
Now it's Daigle. She taps quickly out of the Mesa playbook, and she finds some good meters. And
Mesa have turned it over.
Helen Wagonsail, the open side flanker.
Let's keep it in hand. We've dropped 3. Yes. Good decision.
You saw the defense dropping back to cover the kick. And that opened up the space on the right sideline, but it's stripped in the tackle by Daigle. And we are going the other way.
We are on about 15 straight phases here, going back and forth.
The pass is behind Dordan. There's an advantage. Dordan picks it up. And it looks like we had an advantage. Offsides is the call from referee Pagan. UConn eyes their options. And for the first time in this game, I think we're going to have a kick for touch on a penalty.
Should be good. Oh.
And it's just inside the field of play, which means we will have a 5-meter line out for the Huskies. 9-point game. They've got an opportunity to answer here.
It is a little different in this scenario with the sidelines being so close, but the one thing I do value about rugby compared to other sports is it's really about your coaches and staff giving you the tools all week, all season to be able to prepare you to make the right decisions in these instances. It can be very empowering as a player and as a team.
And we will see the line out. We apologize for any issues with the clock. We're getting that sorted as quickly as possible for you guys.
That was a great sack by Mesa there. Textbook.
Jordan going for the corner, but she's short. She was rolling on the ground, so play could not continue. But there is a penalty advantage from the line out.
Interesting, the ref calling the penalty on the sack. To my understanding, the laws around sacking is first point of contact. If you make a clean hit and it goes down, that is clear. You cannot exit the line out to make this hit. You cannot hold your feet. You cannot hesitate.
Devlin goes close. There is a host of UConn forwards. Mesa, try to stop it. There's a little bobble of the ball. It's short. And it's DeFabio crashing over in the corner. It is a try, and UConn finally strike back. They've been held silent for 30, 40 minutes of this game. And finally they get over the line. It is 26-22 with a kick to come.
That was about 20 consistent phases, back and forth. That has got to be a momentum shifter for UConn. That just breathed life into these ladies.
How will Mesa answer? How will UConn answer? We saw this in the last game. Teams would score and then immediately concede. This is potentially a massive turning point in this game.
Especially with subs coming in. It's new life. She can't run.
Parker Pretty.
Great strike.
Strikes it well, perhaps a little bit distracted as number 21, Sarah Hart, enters the game. Accidentally almost ran in the path of the kicker.
It's more on the number 4 there. Sorry, the referee, number 4.
Mesa will have territory on the ensuing kickoff. Where will Courtney Hull put this kickoff? She has been hitting her spots today. Another up. Looks like Margaret Devlin got a little bit of attention. Devlin, excuse me, on the sideline. Got a little bit of attention, but she's back in the game. Courtney Hull goes straight down the middle. And it's a knock on and immediately scooped up by Mesa. And the sub is on the roll going forward. It's Hart. There's space to the left. But she picks the gap in front of her. They're rumbling forward. Robles Vasquez is eventually tackled.
Immediate impact from Hart there. So wonderful to see.
There's no one in the fringes, and busting through the middle is the number 8. It is Liz Toma crashing over for the try. The immediate answer. And Colorado Mesa re-extend the lead to 2 possessions.
The amount of heart behind this team right now it's unbelievable to see.
I believe that extends the scoreline to 31-22.
UConn!
be on Courtney Hull to eye up this kick. She has been fantastic so far, 3 from 4 on conversions. Checks in with referee Pagan about how much time she has. A little bit to the right, but still 31-22, a 9-point advantage for Mesa. And we are about 20 minutes to go here. Mesa, can they continue to apply pressure on the scoreboard? Can they continue to go forward? UConn, can they work themselves back into that game? It was so emotional when they scored the try to bring them within 1 score. Now they have to do it again.
Both teams are traveling with slightly smaller rosters, but right now, this last 20 minutes is when the Colorado advantage comes into play. When you are training at altitude every day of the week, when you go to lower ground, it benefits you immensely.
Right up the middle with the kickoff. And Mesa still playing the offloading game, and they're finding gaps. A little bit less energy and a little bit less pace, as you might expect as the game wears on. But the adventure is still there. Pelham Wagonsail brought to ground. We've called her name an awful bunch. A strong counter ruck. Referee Pagan has to get involved to make sure there are no hands in there, and the ball comes away for Mesa. A drop backwards and perhaps a knock on. Now it's UConn's ball. Dordan trying to get around the corner.
Great hit.
It's frantic stuff for the Huskies, but a good job to put her team on the front foot by Madeline Kelly.
You can see Mesa's defense is very well drilled. Right here when UConn came around the corner with the ball, instead of shooting to make the hit, she stayed connected with her teammate.
There's the tackle.
UConn! Hit him hard!
It's tireless work, but fighting on her feet is Anna Shellman. She's still going forward. UConn still has some fight left in them. They find a little bit of organization. The pressure at the breakdown is immense. Creekmore has to dig for that ball. Eventually she gets her hands on it, finds Vertuccio. Vertuccio shifts it wide, but it's an intercept. And immediately the other way goes Mesa. A good job to stifle the momentum by UConn in the midfield.
Hats off to number 9 Lily Creekmore on UConn. She is having to work so hard at these breakdowns. If this were me at this point, I would have pulled my forwards in to have a little chat.
And that connection, Rosario Vasquez to Hull, still alive and well. UConn decide to contest at the breakdown. But the UConn counter-ruckers fall out of that breakdown. There's space to the left, but stepping back inside is the 10. She offloads. That ball is still alive, and they're streaking down the touchline on the left side in the hands of Metzger. The ball is still alive, but there is a knock-on.
Somebody get Abba on the line, because knowing me, knowing you, this team's connection and knowing where each other is going to be is unmatched right now.
It has been sensational team play. Every single player, 1 through 15 from Mesa. How are you going to choose a player of the match if Mesa emerge from this and hold on to the lead?
It will be very hard.
It'll be a scrum. UConn's ball to feed. Look for Mesa to attack again. It is super hard to attack off that back foot platform.
I think defensively, if this is me, I would want my 11 here a little flatter to the line and half drop my 14, just in terms of connection. We know UConn's strength is their 13, and we have the 15 stacked outside of her right now, so it looks like they have an overs and an unders option.
A big drive, and Mesa turns over the scrum. They're not going to be able to shift it wide, though. UConn defense is right on top of them. And there's a gap up the middle. A little bit slower play. There's still space to the right and there's space behind. Ball is
Great hit. Great
Panic
shot.
taken ball and all.
I said it earlier, they're 9 and 10 on Mesa have done very well to identify when it's time to push the pace and when we just need to take a minute to reset. And that's a great example of it right there.
The replacement Hart throws the tip pass and then follows her pass for the offload. Pelham Wagon sail off to the right, but they go back to the open side. And now it goes to the left wing. A great tackle comes in on the edge. Wagon sail throws it out the back pass. And there's a gap up the middle. A strong carry, but a great tackle coming in from Vertuccio.
We've played many successive phases, and I'm hoping for somebody to look up and spot the space out back here on the right-hand side. Prime opportunity for our winger in 15 to get up in there.
Robles Vasquez decides to go route one, taking on the UConn defense. Hart ships it on. Chavez, great hands, but she's immediately met in the tackle by her opposite. And there was a forward pass in that passage of play. Great tackle by Vanessa Santana to shut down that attack. Chavez a little worse for wear for taking that tackle. A lot of hands on hips. This has been a game played at a blistering pace. We'll see what legs are left in the final quarter. Mesa will look to attack. They turned over the last scrum, and they're going forwards. The ball squirts out on Mesa's side. Great job to get moving forward. Chavez steps back in. She's got her 7 in support, but she decides to set the ruck. The tip pass comes. Robles Vasquez dances through the middle and a big shot. Well met by Kelly.
Ball's turned over to UConn here at the breakdown.
The defense attritional for UConn. And there's the kick. They find a little bit of space. Tracking back to cover it is Pennick. Pennick is going to run the long way, try to find space. She's tackled near support.
Both teams are hungry, and it is great to see.
Mesa a little bit more conservative, waiting to get set up, but they'll go to work. Metzger taken down well. Oh, but the quick play, stepping around the outside, and she keeps stepping, doesn't have support. UConn will try to go for the ball, but can't stay on their feet. It was Kelly diving. Mesa immediately tap. And they're going forward. She's looking for support. She finds it as usual. And the ball goes to the edge again. The offload option isn't there. Great decision to take it to ground. But UConn get hands in that breakdown. UConn will have to find a bit of continuity, a bit of connection, and get down the field. They've got to score 2 times to win this game. Jordan.
Mesa have done great up until now with their back 3 rotation. It would really be beneficial if the 11 were able to inch back a little bit and help the 15, because UConn have shown they will kick.
A strong carry by Devlin. There's numbers to the left for UConn. They're screaming for it. The ball bounces, but it's picked up. Great hands. Can she get around the corner?
Great shot.
Oh, yeah!
There's the tackle coming in on Kelly. And the knock-on comes. A big hit came in by Anna Griffiths, but she came out perhaps a little worse for wear. We'll take a quick break to remind you, Major League Rugby is a proud supporter of the College Rugby Association of America. We've got a replacement coming on for Mesa. That's Ashley Bullinger replacing Chavez. Oh, excuse me, that was Courtney Roberts is also onto the field. That was a big collision between Chavez and Griffiths, and both of them will need a replacement. They will not be able to carry on, and that's the attrition we talked about this weekend. You got to win this game, but you also got to make it to tomorrow, to finals Saturday, to play the Northeastern Huskies. A little bit of fun in the scrum as Liz Pagan's primary signal finds the nose of Courtney Hull.
At least it wasn't the prop, because I've been punched in the face at a scrum before on the bind.
The bind battle can be fierce.
This is a favorable picture right here for Mesa.
There's space on the right
Eight's
side.
been carrying well. Only a flanker to beat. There we go.
Mesa. Great draw and pass, but then the ball bounces out of Blatnick's hands, and it'll be you. Oh, no. Mesa maintains possession. Hull offloads to Robles Vasquez. Back to Hull. That connection has been working well all day. Blatnick looking for the ball at the back, and it was a messy breakdown. Both teams have been aggressive there. Referee Pagan, well known for allowing a fair bit of contest at the ruck.
Mesa having a good bit of game management here. Are they going for pods? Will they go for line out? But they were able to slow it down and compose to what they're ready to do.
Vasquez Robles finds the replacement Hart and puts her into space. A great tip pass. Blatnick finds Hull. Hull distributes. The ball's moving to the left. Not a lot there. A big blue wall in front of Mesa. There is space behind, but still they play the phases. That last carry was Sydney Hughes trying to get her team on the front foot. Mesa definitely now sensing the game is potentially in hand if they can just manage the clock and maintain possession. There is a Yukon tackler at the bottom of that pile. She's not rolling away. That's Bertuccio conceding the penalty.
I'm very impressed. All day, Mesa have shown to be a very well-coached program. They're confident in what they're doing. They're able to slow down, take a minute, and talk about what's about to be best for this team in this situation. Our props taking the kick.
And casual as you like it, it'll be about a 5 meter, maybe a 10 meter line out for Mesa. Time will tick away. Hull will have no urgency now to get the ball back in play. A complete shift in approach to the game as we're just outside of 10 minutes to go here in Charlotte, North Carolina. They're going to make sure everyone is extra ready to start here. It looks like the assistant referee is attending to something. And time will be off for a half second as the issue is addressed.
Oh, the ball.
One of the important things to rugby. I think this might be Mesa, just about Mesa's first line out. One, tipped off the top. Dordan quickly through the middle of the line out, applying pressure on her 9. A switch back onto the inside to Sheck, but the ball's still alive. Oh, it gets dropped, and it might be forwards, perhaps not. Referee Pagan is allowing play to continue. Hart goes forward, then she gets the offload away. Mesa a bit more patient at the breakdown now. Hull getting the ball out. Metzger offloads. Her teammates do well to clean up the wayward pass. Robles Vasquez just going straight through the middle around the fringes. She is so good with her footwork into gaps, and she's still on her feet within 5 meters of the try line. And there's the penalty. And the order of the day is patience this time.
The Mesa forwards are just putting in the hard yards around the field right now. It is incredible to see.
The tactical change in the last 5 minutes has been impressive. There's a tackle, and it is high.
It's another penalty try.
And that'll be a penalty try. 7 points to Mesa, and it is 38-22. Take a quick second to remind you that World Rugby Shop is the official sponsor of the CRAA Mint City Bowl. If you are on the hunt for a one-stop shop for all things rugby, check out worldrugbyshop.com, where they love to connect you with the sport you love. Penalty try, so an automatic 7 points, no conversion necessary.
Mesa will be up with a player for the next 10, as a member of UConn has received a card for the play.
38-22. The Mesa player a little bit shaken up. Let's say someone's yelling right underneath us that Carly's going to be scrum half. I didn't realize you were going to get out there today.
My boots are in the car.
It's good to see Liz Thomas back up and moving about after taking that rough shot right by the try line. So 38-22, a man advantage for Colorado Mesa. 10 minutes to play.
A red card has just been shown, as I believe it was a second yellow card for this player.
That is correct, and that is Devlin, an impactful player for UConn. So for the rest of the match, there was only 10 minutes to go anyways, but for the final 10 minutes, it will be 15-on-14. We've got a sub coming into the game. I believe that is Archer Schmalz in the 16 jersey. The Mesa maroon on maroon. A fun challenge for us commentators to decipher as the sun sets. Ball was knocked on, and UConn will have a scrum in an attacking area of the field, just outside the 22. Playing scrum half behind a scrum that's going backwards, what does that do to your approach? What does that do to your effort to try to give good ball to your 10, to your playmakers?
I would certainly, it would alter the timing of me putting the ball in. I would do it a lot faster because I don't want to put my forwards under that pressure. And if we are moving backwards, typically I'm not going to go for that ball. I'm going to rely on my 8-man, and they are relying on me to communicate the picture at hand.
And that's where that red card becomes so difficult right now, because they don't have that number 8. Devlin out of the game. UConn electing to go for both of their flankers bound onto the scrum. But
It is interesting to see the decision as well, considering Mesa have been so dominant at set piece. I think if it were me, I would have put one of the backs at flanker and a flanker back at the 8. When it is your ball at a set piece of this type, you want to maintain possession. You cannot afford to lose that.
And that ball squirted right back out the tunnel, so we will reset it. There's some opportunistic Mesa players. Carly Scheck has moved from the midfield to number 9. That was the Carly that was moving to halfback that we heard about.
And I gotta say, I love her energy. She's giving a little tappy tap to the other 9, getting in her head a little. It's gotta be done.
Is there a Carly brain connection going? Immediately on top of and stripping the ball away. She knocked the ball on in the strip, and we'll have another scrum.
Great energy. She knows what she's doing.
We've got a big Carly fan in the booth. And now UConn emptying their bench. We've got Courtney looking at the wrong roster. We've got Celine Mendez, Isabel Hutchins, and Julia Hubert all entering the game. Ball gets fed. Mesa putting the pressure on, going forward. A great job by the replacement scrum half, Dana Aubin.
Great.
To pick up that ball, but then she knocks it on the ground. A difficult situation to come into a game and have to deal with that kind of pressure at the scrum.
Direct impact from Carly getting off the back there. And just, she has an attack mentality when she is on defense, and it shows.
Now we'll see Carly Scheck play her first attacking scrum in the halfback role.
I think coming from center into 9 is fairly favorable. She has good field vision. She knows what line she wants to run, so I would love to see her round this corner off her 8 and take space, because this is wide open. Even if we got her to kick off down the line, fantastic.
The
Transfer of pressure here. We are in the edge of our red zone still.
The 8 to 9 to wing connection has been on a couple of times this game. At the back is now Pelham Wagonsail, as Liz Thomas has been replaced. She took that rough hit on the goal line that led to the penalty try. A little bit of self-preservation for tomorrow, perhaps.
Not the worst idea.
Pelham picks.
Wide open. There we go.
There's the space.
Good support by Carly.
Go, Carly.
And Scheck
Great
finds
connections.
Wagonsail on the inside line. The woman in the 7 jersey moved to number 8. She picked, she passed, she receives the offload on the inside, and she scores the try. And now the scoreline is 45-22. That was just clinical.
Absolutely clinical. They saw the space, they knew where they wanted to get to, and they knew exactly what they needed to do to get there.
This is a great moment for this Mesa program. How hard is it to go from Division II to Division I, to step up to that new level of play, and then to show up on the biggest stage at that division? In the NCAA, you're not even allowed to do it. When you go from Division II to Division I, you're not allowed to go to the playoffs. So that's how difficult it is. That is how much of a challenge from the new resources that are required to the higher level of play. And it's great to see these young women playing in the CRAA D1 bracket make it to this level and find so much success and play with so much passion and joy.
Absolutely. There's still tomorrow to be played, but it's got to feel pretty damn good today to make a statement.
Vasquez Robles. Sorry.
Prop on the tee. Love it.
Robles Vasquez.
And she's accurate.
Oh, she's accurate from near the touchline, and that makes the
Fantastic.
scoreline 45-22. That'll get the Mesa team fired up to finish out this game. It's just about finishing here, managing attrition, and being ready for tomorrow.
This has turned into a real dominant matchup by Mesa, and it's got to breed confidence for tomorrow. They will feel confident going into that match tomorrow, as the first game was fairly back and forth.
UConn come up to the line. Still playing one down, as they will be for the rest of the match. They kick off deep, forcing Mesa to come from deep within their own half. It's Metzger. She's brought down. Well done by Scheck to clean things up, but her pass a little bit too hard for Hart to handle, and that is the full-time whistle. 45 for Colorado Mesa to 22 for the UConn Huskies. What a great game of attacking rugby by Mesa. And to come back and win it after going down multiple scores in the early phases of the game, you got to be impressed with that resilience and then that confidence to finish.
I can't help but smile. Like, moving up divisions and then earning their way here and showing up on the day that it matters. It's incredible to see. Played with so much heart.
There were so many players that contributed to that success, to that attack. Robles Vasquez, and the Courtney Hull, big-time connection between the front rowers. You saw Sheck and her connection with Metzger in the midfield. The 9 and 10 were creating all kinds of opportunities for their team and putting their big ball runners into space. If you had to pick one, who would be your player of the game? Welcome to Color Commentary. You got the big pressure.
For me, I think it would be Nelly Robles Vasquez. She was all over the pitch and carry. She proved she could pass. She could pass consistently with distance and accuracy. And then these tee kicks at the end here, unmatched.
It was an absolutely sensational Friday of rugby here at the Skillback Athletic Grounds here in Charlotte, North Carolina. The 2023 CRAA Fall Classic is off to a flying start. We saw Mesa just now soar past the established program, the Yukon Huskies, to punch their ticket to the final. Earlier it was Northeastern over Air Force. These two teams will collide tomorrow in one of 4 scintillating matchups that we have that will be on the Rugby Network. We hope you'll join us as festivities continue in Charlotte, North Carolina tomorrow. For Carly Waters, I'm Joe Rasmus. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you for more Fall Classic Rugby tomorrow at noon.